Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Hey everybody, get ready for some great shows. Starting out with Cavalcade of America, Lux Theater with some great Hollywood stars, Groucho Marx, one of the best comedians in history, and also followed by the hilarious Red Skelton.
Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont. This evening we present high spots in the career of one of the first American operatic stars to gain prestige for native-born American singers, Madame Lillian Nordica. Even as late as the early years of the 20th century, American singers were without honor in their own country. European training, and indeed a foreign name, were unwritten requirements for a vocalist aspiring to operatic or concert fame in the United States. In many of the arts and sciences, recognition of American genius was slow in arriving. For many years, for instance, some people felt that the most progressive and successful research chemists were those of Europe. Today, however, in laboratories throughout the United States, valuable contributions to our comfort and well-being are being perfected continually. Some of these contributions take the form of new products. Some are improvements on existing products. But all of them represent the kind of service which research chemistry renders everyone, service whose objective is described in the DuPont Pledge: better things for better living through chemistry. The part of Lillian Nordica will be sung by the well-known American soprano Agnes Davis. Winner of the first Atwater Kent radio contest and graduate of the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia, Miss Davis is a true example of Madame Nordica's faith in American-born and American-trained singers.
Lillian Norton was born on May 12, 1859, in the little village of Farmington, Maine. Her exceptional voice was discovered when she was a child, and her parents moved to Boston to give her the advantages of a musical education. When she was 17 years old, she had been engaged as a church soloist in Boston, which, in the opinion of her parents and of her preacher grandfather, was the pinnacle of success for the young girl. Lillian and her mother and father are in the sitting room of their modest home as Professor O'Neill, her music teacher, enters.
Mr. Norton, a great opportunity has come to your daughter, but there's no time to lose. Every minute of this afternoon counts.
What do you mean, Professor?
What is it, Professor O'Neill?
You've heard, doubtless, that the great European tenor Brignoli is singing tonight at Bumstead Hall.
Professor O'Neill, we are not interested in concerts or the theater.
But you don't understand. The female soloist who came from New York to appear with Brignoli has been taken ill, and Brignoli is tearing his hair with anxiety. He must have an assisting artist. And several people who have heard Lillian sing at church have suggested that she appear with him tonight.
They've suggested me.
You mean you want my daughter to stand on a stage and sing?
It's the opportunity of a lifetime.
Oh, Father, please. It's the chance I've dreamed of. Mother understands, don't you, Mother?
Yes, Lily, I understand. But you see, Professor O'Neill, we've always been taught to believe that a concert hall or a theater was wicked.
Well, forgive me, Mrs. Norton, if I say that, in my opinion, it is still more wicked for you to bury Lillian's talent. She has real talent, you know.
Yes, I believe she has too.
Amanda Norton, with your own father in the next room preparing his sermon, you are pleading with me to let your daughter make a spectacle of herself in a concert hall.
I am no longer preparing a sermon.
Oh, Father.
There's noise enough in this house to wake the dead.
Grandfather.
Did we disturb you?
What is happening here?
Father, this is Lillian's music teacher, Professor O'Neill. My father, Reverend John Allen.
How do you do, Reverend Allen?
How do you do, sir?
Well, Mr. Norton, I'm sorry. If this is your final decision, I must go and tell the committee to look elsewhere for a soloist.
What decision?
Lillian's teacher has come here to ask if she might sing in a concert hall tonight.
Grandfather, Do you think it's so very wicked?
No Norton has ever set foot in a concert hall. It's wicked to attend and doubly wicked to sing on the platform.
Why would it mean so much to you to sing there, Lily?
Oh, it would be such a great honor to appear with Brignoli.
I'm sorry, Lily. Perhaps another chance will come someday. I must go.
Wait, Professor O'Neill. Do you, too, think this is an honor for my granddaughter?
Indeed I do, Reverend Allen, or I should not be here. Lillian is my most talented pupil.
What? Father Allen, you don't mean you think my decision wrong?
Not wrong, perhaps, Edwin, but, well, hasty. Will you abide by my judgment in the matter?
Why, certainly. You are a minister of the gospel.
Will Lily have to speak any words on that
Oh,
platform?
no, Grandfather. I'll only sing.
Well, then, Lily is not an actress. She is a singer, whether it be in church or in a hall. To my way of thinking, it's only acting that's wicked.
Oh, Grandfather, then I can sing tonight?
I'm only your grandfather, child.
Father, may I please go?
I said I'd abide by your grandfather's decision.
So successful was Lillian Norton's debut at Bumstead Hall in 1876 that the tenor Brignoli advised her going to New York City for more intensive training. She saved every penny, and after a season with Patrick Sarsfield Gilmore's concert band, she went to Milan, Italy, to continue her musical education, with her devoted mother as companion. Now, at last, in 1879, when she is 20 years old, she approaches another turning point in her career.
Oh, Mother, I can't believe it's true. At last I'm to appear in opera, even if it is a tiny little opera house in Brescia.
I'm so happy for you, dear.
What? I wonder who's calling at this hour. Oh, Signor San Giovanni, come in. Mother,
Signorina.
it's my teacher.
Oh, good afternoon, Signor San Giovanni.
Buongiorno, Signor Norton. Signorina,
Why,
I have an
Signor
important...
San Giovanni, you seem excited. Or something happened. Don't tell me something's gone wrong about my debut. I've been so happy all day.
It is about your debut I have come, Signorina.
Tell me, what is it?
I have forgot the most important matter, Signorina. You cannot make your first appearance in opera with that American name, Norton.
I can't use my own name.
No. It would be fatal to your hopes, Signorina. You must adopt an Italian name.
Oh, Mother, did you hear that? Why, my revolutionary ancestors would turn over in their graves to find a Norton from Maine disguised as an Italian. No.
Lillian, I believe that Signor San Giovanni is right. You know that people don't believe a singer is a true artist unless he comes from Europe.
It is true, Signorina. Why do you come to Italy to study with me? There are music teachers in America. Why do you, an American, wish to make your debut here in Italy? Is it not because even in your country, people think more of you if you study here?
Yes, it's true, but it's made me angry ever since I was a little girl. Well, I know I had to come here to study to impress them back home. But I still don't see why I have to pretend I'm an Italian.
Lillian, I wasn't going to tell you this before your debut, but now I think I'd better.
Tell me what, Mother?
I received a long letter from your father today.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Because it contains some unpleasant news, dear.
What?
He says that every Norton in Maine is distressed at the prospect of your singing on the stage.
What?
He says that they're all agreed that you'll disgrace the family name forever.
A disgrace? Did you say to sing opera? A disgrace?
Mother.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lily. I didn't want to tell you. You see, you've been away from home for several years. You've forgotten how they feel about the theater or even a concert hall.
And I've given up everything. Saved my money. Worked from morning to night to make a name for myself, and now my relatives say I'm disgracing them. Oh, it isn't fair.
Signorina, I have thought of a beautiful name. Nordica.
Nordica?
See, it means from the north. Ah, the beautiful lily of the north, they will call you.
Nordica. All right. That letter settles it. From this day, I'll be Lillian Nordica. But, Mother, someday the Nortons in Maine will be proud of me.
So Lily Norton became Lillian Nordica and made her European debut in the role of Violetta in the opera La Traviata. 13 years after her successful debut, Lillian Nordica was known as a dependable singer with an amazing repertoire, but her ambition was not satisfied. So far, no American had ever sung at Bayreuth, where each spring the Wagnerian Music Festival was held under the auspices of Frau Cosima Wagner, widow of the great German composer. After securing letters of introduction to Frau Wagner, in 1892, Lillian Nordica is granted a personal interview. Wagner's son, Siegfried, ushers her into his mother's studio.
Mother, here's the American singer, Madame Nordica, to see you.
I am happy to welcome you to Bayreuth, Madame Nordica.
It is a great privilege to meet you, Frau Wagner. Your son has told me how busy you are, so I'll tell you at once the reason for my visit. Frau Wagner, I've come here from Paris to make a request. It may startle you.
Yeah, Madame Nordica? What is it?
Frau Wagner, I wish to sing the role of Elsa in Lohengrin.
What?
But, my dear young lady, Lohengrin has not yet been presented here at Bayreuth. Forgive me if I say that when we do present this opera, our soprano, our Elsa, must be the most famous operatic star in Germany, in all Europe, in fact.
No American has ever sung at Bayreuth. It would shock the whole world.
Oh, I understand that. I know, too, that you've never heard of me. Well, I'm not even famous in my own country. Fame at home comes last to American singers. I'm achieving success at a tortoise-like pace, Frau Wagner. I work and study every minute of every day. Oh, I believe in hard work. And that's why I beg you, give me a chance to prove myself, to study the role of Elsa with you.
Well, we have always believed here at Bayreuth that only native-born German singers could interpret the roles of the Meister.
Do you know our German language, Madame Nordica?
Not a word, Herr Wagner.
What?
Oh, but I swear to you that I'll study and master your language within a few months.
Forgive if I ask this. Can you sing, Madame Nordica?
I'm not surprised that you're asking me. Will you hear me, Frau Wagner?
My mother has another appointment.
That appointment can wait, Siegfried. Will you sing a few bars of an aria, Madame Nordica? My son will accompany you at the piano.
With pleasure, Frau Wagner. This aria from Traviata.
Yeah, so.
You Americans, you attempt the impossible with full confidence of success. But I like your voice. My dear young lady, I will give you a trial.
Oh, you'll never regret.
On one consideration. First, you must prove to me that you have mastered our German language. And then about else, we shall see.
Oh, Frau Wagner, I go to take my first German lesson today. I won't lose a minute. And thank you.
When Lillian Nordica appeared at the home of Frau Wagner 3 months later to prove her mastery of the German language, Frau Wagner agreed to her personally. And Nordica appeared at Bayreuth in 1894 as Elsa in Lohengrin, the first American to sing at this historic festival. At last, Lillian Nordica had achieved her goal. She was soon world famous. But what she considered her greatest personal triumph did not come until some years later when she returned to her native state, Maine, to sing in concert. Now, in her dressing room, at the conclusion of the first recital, Maine, she hears a timid knock at the door and opens to see a group of men and women.
Madam Nordica, you probably don't remember most of us. I'm Martha Norton, your third cousin from Farmington.
You sing just like a bird, Madam Nordica.
Thank you.
I'm Ezra Norton from Bangor.
And I'm Sophie Norton from Bangor. Oh, Madam Nordica, it was real nice hearing you sing.
The Nortons of Maine. Oh, come in, please, come in.
Well, we're not aiming to take up much of your time, Madam Nordica, but we thought, well, just maybe you could show us that crown of diamonds Queen Victoria gave you.
Yes, and we've been reading in the papers that the Tsar of Russia gave you a diamond and sapphire bracelet. Is that the one you got on your arm now, Madam Nordica?
Oh, I know. I'm sorry, but that bracelet and the crown of diamonds are in a vault in New York.
Madam Nordica?
Yes.
I represent the Worldwide Syndicate. I want to write a story about your return to Maine. You were born in Farmington, weren't you?
Yes,
Jiminy Crickets, little Lily Norton. Well, you turned out to be a right fine-looking woman. I'm a Norton from Farmington, and I want to tell you the Nortons of Maine are proud of you, Lily.
Lily Norton. I've waited 20 years to hear someone call me by my own name.
Yeah?
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing Madam Nordica from morning to night. Lily Norton at last. Oh, thank you.
But why in tarnation did you ever dress yourself up with that high-sounding foreign name, Lily?
Well, I dressed myself up with that foreign name because there was a time when you Nortons weren't so proud of me. Yes, you people back home decided I was disgracing the family name by appearing on a stage.
Say, that's a great story, Madam Nordica. May I use that?
Oh, if you want a story for your newspaper, I'll tell you a better one. I've just purchased 20 acres of land at Ardsley on the Hudson, and I'm planning to establish an American Bayreuth.
Bayreuth? What's that, Lily?
An American Institute of Music.
Yeah?
For years, I've regretted the fact that Americans don't respect their own singers. Well, I think I've helped prove to the world that there are good voices in America. Now I want to prove to the world that America has music teachers as talented as any in Europe.
Say, that's a front-page story, Madam Nordica.
Oh, Madam Nordica Fiddlesticks. You've always been Lily Norton to me, and you always will be.
That's right, Jeb.
But I ain't heard you sing yet, Lily. I got here too late for your show tonight. Will you sing a song now, Lily?
Come on. Yes. A song for the Nortons of Maine? Well, I certainly will. If you let me play my own accompaniment.
Yes, I'll open the piano.
Well, there's only one song I'm capable of singing now.
Has it got them foreign words to it, Lily?
Oh, it has not. It's a song you know as well as I do. But I think it means even more to me than it does to you.
Madame Nordica's untimely death in 1914 prevented her carrying out her dream of founding an American Institute of Music, but other Americans, inspired by her brilliant career and by her wholehearted belief in the talent of native-born artists, have carried on her plans. As a pioneer in preaching the doctrine that American music teachers and vocalists are as capable and talented as the musicians of Europe, she is accorded a place of honor in the Cavalcade of America.
Let us imagine we are in DuPont's Central Research Laboratory at Wilmington, Delaware. We hear a buzzing, spluttery sound. Let's step into this room and find out what it is. A bright blue flame pierces the semi-darkness and casts weird leaping shadows on the face of a man bending over a long box-like instrument. Both light and sound come from a carbon arc attached to the apparatus which is called a spectrograph. If you've marveled at the exploits of Sherlock Holmes or Philo Vance, just wait till this machine starts detecting. The spectrograph detects the presence of metallic elements. It seeks out traces of metals, even the rarest, so faint as to defy chemical analysis. The presence of lithium, for example, can be detected in most materials, even though it exists in only 1 part in 10 million. As for gold, copper, tin, lead, silver, and the like, well, they haven't a chance to remain undiscovered with a spectrograph on the job. Let's move closer and watch. The operator has some tiny grains of grit strained from an experimental batch of a new paint which another DuPont laboratory has found unusually promising, except for a slight grittiness. Find what that grit is, and the remedy should soon follow. As the operator dabs the grit on the carbon arc, the light flares brightly. Squinting through a tiny opening, we see a whole range of gorgeous colors dancing about. Now the man at the instrument explains. The light given off by the burning compound passes through a prism, which breaks it up into different colors. These colors arrange themselves in parallel bands, a kind of artificial rainbow, which is then reflected upon a photographic plate. When the photograph is developed, we can tell what impurity our compound contains, for each metallic element having its own wavelength or color shows up in a definite position on the plate. And here's the picture now. See those black lines? That grit in the paint under examination is silicon. It left its fingerprint, and the spectrograph tracked it down. Even invisible gases can be detected this way. Equipment of this kind helps ensure the quality of every chemical product made by DuPont. It is also valuable in analyzing new materials for possible use in improving existing products or creating entirely new ones. Such research aids enable DuPont chemists to serve you better in their constant efforts to provide better things for better living through chemistry. National Parks Pioneers, episodes in the lives of men who discovered and helped develop our great system of national playgrounds, thereby conserving natural wonders of our country for posterity, will be the subject of the broadcast when next week at this same time, DuPont again presents the Cavalcade of America. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
From Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson in Naughty Marietta.
Lux presents Hollywood. I want to say thank you to the thousands and thousands of women who buy Lux toilet soap regularly. This kind of loyalty is what makes this program possible. Late last week, Mr. Lawrence Tibbett and Miss Helen Jepson arrived in Hollywood, making a special trip from the East to star for us tonight in Victor Herbert's romantic musical play, Naughty Marietta. Our guest tonight is the world's champion motion picture fan, Mr. A.B. Oldfield. The Lux Radio Theater Orchestra is conducted by Louis Silvers. And now, here's our producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. To all young singers, there's great inspiration in the magnificent voices of Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson. But you don't have to be a singer to be inspired by the exhilarating stories of their success. Mr. Tibbett is the son of a cowboy who, like Wild Bill Hickok, belonged to the last of the valiant peace marshals who built the West. Sheriff of Kern County, California, he was killed in a gun battle before his son came to fame, and Lawrence was raised by his mother, who ran a boarding house. Later on, he lived in a ramshackle sort of place which he rented for $12.50 a month, but was so delinquent in payment that he picked grapes and pruned vines to pay off his back rent. However, his greatest blow came a bit earlier, when his high school glee club refused him membership because his voice was not good enough. On borrowed money, our star went to New York to study. Resolved that if he didn't succeed, he'd return to California and accept an offer to sell trucks. Now and then, he managed to buy a ticket to a performance at the Metropolitan Opera House in the standing room section of the audience. 10 years later, it was the audience that stood up for him, applauding him at a single performance while he took 22 curtain calls. With Mr. Tibbet in that same opera house, Helen Jepson made her sensational debut 4 years ago. As a youngster, Helen worked in a department store in Akron, Ohio, earning the money to pay for her vocal lessons. The last of her savings brought her to Philadelphia to compete with 200 other girls for a musical scholarship. The judges had a difficult decision to make, for Helen was one of several girls, each of whom showed equal promise. But they selected Helen when they noticed that one of her stockings had been neatly darned, concluding that a girl who was able to darn her own stockings and was not ashamed to wear them deserved the break. As lovely to the eye as her voice is to the ear, Miss Jepson is currently seen in the Goldwyn Follies. Now we hear her as Marietta, and Mr. Tibbet as Captain Warrington in Victor Herbert's finest musical play, Naughty Marietta. Neither the composer nor his work need any introductory phrases from me. Both are too well loved. But it's interesting to note that even Victor Herbert could be wrong. He thought so little of the song, Our Sweet Mystery of Life, that in the original production he didn't even bother to give it a name. It was referred to on the program simply as the dream music. And so to our play and its melody. The Lux Radio Theater presents Lawrence Tibbet and Helen Jepson in Naughty Marietta. France in the year 1750. In the marketplace of a tiny village near Paris, a gay crowd has gathered to hear the news of the day. The town crier, puffed with importance, stands on the edge of the fountain. His bell rings out sharply in the morning air.
News from Paris! News from the court of King Louis XV! Out with it! We're listening! What's the news? By the order of our most gracious Majesty, at high noon tomorrow, a boat will sail for the colony of Louisiana. Said boat will carry to Louisiana a shipment of 40 casquette maids. Said maids will be provided by our king with caskets containing gold and a free grant of land. Said gold and land will provide for each said maid a husband. Said husbands will bid for wives in the marketplace at Louisiana 1 month from this day. Said husbands will be a lot of worthless jacks. Remember, girls, a chance for a fortune and a husband. In the words of the poet, a maid need not be fair to win herself a husband.
Miss Marietta?
Josephine, where have you been?
To the marketplace. Oh, Miss Marietta, they're sending casquette maids to Louisiana.
Casquette maids?
And they're all going to get husbands. 40 of them. Think of that. 40 of them. Isn't that
Oh, Josephine, stop it. What are you so excited about?
Well, I'm one of the 40.
No.
Yes. Oh, Miss Marietta, I'm tired of waiting for Gabrielle to propose to me. And anyway, his knees knocked together.
Oh.
In Louisiana, with gold and land, I can find my own husband. Of course, some say there are a lot of worthless jacks. But even a worthless jack is better than no husband at all.
And a good deal better than some.
What? But Miss Marietta, you're a countess. You have only to choose a husband like picking eggs.
And what if I don't want to choose? Then my father chooses for me. And he picks worse than knees that knock together. Oh, Josephine, I wish I were going with you.
As a casket maid?
It's anything but what I am. Oh, it's a new life there. New and exciting and adventurous.
Oh, countesses are not supposed to be adventurous.
But that's the only fun in life, Josephine. Being what you're not supposed to be and doing what you're not supposed to do.
Well, I don't know. It always got me into a lot of trouble. I don't think...
Who is it?
Good morning, Marietta.
Oh, good morning, Father.
Good morning, Your Grace.
You may go.
Yes, Your Grace.
Well, Marietta,
Yes, Father.
I hope you've been considering the matter I spoke of last night.
Yes, Father.
Good. The Duke de Lyon is here now, Waiting for your answer, my dear.
Is he sitting down, Father?
Sitting down? Of course he is.
I'm glad, because he's going to have a very long wait.
Now, Marietta...
I will not marry him. I will not.
He has one of the oldest names in Paris.
Well, he should have. He's the oldest man in France.
Not.
Well, then he's next.
And you refuse me, then? You absolutely refuse me.
No, Father.
Huh?
I refuse the Duke. Yesterday, today, and every day, I refuse him.
Very well. You will not leave this room, please, until you hear from me.
And when will that be?
When you send me word that you will marry the man I choose for you, the Duke de Lyon.
That will be never.
Then here you stay, my dear.
Here. Or somewhere else. Josephine. Josephine. Wake up.
Yes,
Wake up,
Madam.
Josephine. Do you hear?
What? Miss Marietta.
Josephine, where is your casket?
Casket?
The box the king gave you with the gold. Where is it?
It's under the bed. It was too big to fit under the pillow.
Oh, Josephine, I want you to give it to me.
But I can't. What do you want with a casket?
I want to use it. I want to take your place on the boat.
Take my place?
Oh, you must let me, Josephine. You must. Here, look. Here's 1,000 francs. 1,000 francs, Josephine, to buy yourself a husband. To buy Gabriel. And here's another 1,000 francs to have his knee straightened out. Take it. Oh, please take it.
But,
now, where is the casket?
But Miss Marietta!
I have it.
But Miss Marietta!
Goodbye, Josephine.
Oh, no, you
Goodbye.
can't.
I'll write to you, Josephine.
Oh, Miss
From
Marietta! Oh, dear.
Say it's running high, mon capitaine. Keep her on the same course. Are all the hatches tight? Oui, monsieur. Yeah. I go below to see the casket girl. Pick a wife for me, mon capitaine. Hello. Is everyone happy down here?
Oh, yes, very.
Yeah. Keep up the spirits, mademoiselle. The storm? The storm, it is nothing. Sing us into fair weather.
Marietta, she sings beautifully.
Oh, Marietta.
All right, very well.
There are two little maidens that live in my heart, and one is so good like this. She looks and she's hot, la-la, like butter would melt again. But the other little maiden that calls to me has a temper so warm, it's horrid. So when I am very good indeed. But when I am bad, I'm horrid. Naughty Marietta, come be good. Thirsty,
That's the way. Keep the hearts light, mademoiselles. In 2 days at the most, we may camp at Breton. And in 1 day more, the marketplace at New Orleans. Keep together, mademoiselles. Together always. We camp here for the night only. In the morning, we are on our way.
Are we near the swamps, Capitan?
Oui, that is why no one must leave the camp.
I'm afraid. Oh, what is that?
Oh, it is nothing. Just a night bird. See him?
Oh, am I a cat to see in the dark?
close to the fire. No harm will come to you.
Listen. It's pirates! Pirates!
To your post! Everyone! Quick!
Come, Capitaine! Soldiers! A whole troop! They approach the camp, monsieur!
You are certain that they are soldiers?
Oui, monsieur! Our lookouts have seen them!
What are soldiers doing in these swamps? Tell the guard to hold fire!
Oui, monsieur!
Home in country, Catholic, home in country.
Who are you?
Captain Richard Warrington. Who are you?
Captain Duval from France. We may camp here for the night.
Well, you've certainly picked a nice spot for yourself, Captain Duval. Didn't your mother ever tell you about boogeymen?
We needed water. You serve the king, monsieur?
We serve ourselves, monsieur. Your king hired us to protect this colony. Well, and who are the ladies?
Casquette maids bound for New Orleans.
That's enough of that, you swamp lizards. Any man who wants a wife can pick one in New Orleans. If he's a smart man, he won't go to New Orleans.
Oh, Captain, I think you are mean. We have come all the way over here just to get married. Oh, don't mind him, Lizette. The captain will probably be in New Orleans himself tomorrow.
Well, if it isn't little Saucy Nose. What makes you think I will, Saucy Nose?
Well, you said only smart men would stay away.
Quiet, you, quiet. Your post, everybody. You and your men get some sleep, Captain Duval. We'll stand guard here till morning.
Thank you, monsieur.
All right, men. To your post.
Oh, Captain.
Oh, Saucy Nose.
Good evening. Well, I said good evening.
You're supposed to be in bed. Do you know that?
I'd rather talk.
Sorry, I'm on guard here. Have no time for talking.
Well, you seem to have time for singing.
Sure, but I like to sing.
Oh, I see. Well, if that's the way you feel. Good night.
Good night.
How far is it to New Orleans, please?
Oh, I thought you went to bed.
I came back again. How far is it to New Orleans?
What's the matter? Can't you wait to get there?
Well, I just asked you a simple question.
That's the trouble with you girls. You just can't wait till you get yourself a husband. Then when you catch one, you spend the rest of your life picking on him. I don't understand it.
I take it you aren't interested in getting married.
Mademoiselle, you have taken correct.
Well, you needn't give yourself airs. I'm not interested either.
You're not?
No, I despise the whole idea.
What a lucky catch you're going to be. Well, you better start working up a little enthusiasm. You'll be a bride inside of a week.
Oh, perhaps.
Oh, no, you will. You've got to marry somebody, you know. That's what you're here for.
Really? Just how does it work?
Well, you meet someone here. If he thinks he could put up with you, why, he tells you all about himself. How much money he has, what his prospects are. If you like him, well, you take him.
Very simple, isn't it? I can have any man?
Provided he's single, of course.
Oh, of course. I think I'll take you.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're single, aren't you?
Definitely. But you're forgetting I said if the man could put up with you. And I couldn't. Also, definitely. Ow, you little... Why, say, if I weren't a gentleman,
Oh, if you were a gentleman, I shouldn't have had to slap you. Good night.
Good night. All right, men. Fall in. Fall in there. We're marching this morning. Hurry up.
Captain Warrington, wait.
What's the matter?
Oh, one of our girls, one of the Casquette maids, she has escaped.
What?
Yes, she disappeared during the night. We can't find her anyplace.
Which one was it?
Oh, the little dark one with the curls, a Marietta.
Marietta? Marietta's gone?
Yes.
Good.
No, you must find her.
Oh, no, I am hired to fight men, not to hunt she-cats.
Oh, please, you must. I am responsible for her safety to the king himself. I am responsible.
All right. Come on, men. We're marching to New Orleans. And keep a careful lookout for a short cat with long claws. Run, the way. Run, the world is free. With Panthers and Canucks, Virginians and Kentucks, Captain Dick, all infantry. Captain Dick, all here.
heard Act One of Naughty Marietta, starring Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson. In a moment, we will continue with Act Two. During this short intermission, we invite you all to play a spelling game. Now, you may want to get your pencils and paper ready while I explain it. You probably all remember fondly that tender song about Mother, which begins, M is for the million things she gave me, O means only that she's growing old, and so on. Tonight, we are going to use the pattern of that song to spell two words. Have you got your pencil and paper? Now, listen carefully. They are two important words. Are you ready? Here's the first word.
L is for Lucy, whose last name is Quinn. U is her ultra-superlative skin. X is for excellent judgment she's shown, making the screen star's safe skincare her own.
Second word.
F is the stag line she keeps in a whirl. O is the orchids bestowed on this girl. A is the answer. Men love skin that's nice. P is this poem we wrote in a trice.
Of course, you all know by this time that the words we spelled are Lux soap. But that's not all. The little story we told you about Lucy could very well be a true one. There are popular girls everywhere just like her, who know that lovely skin wins romance. They know, too, that Lux toilet soap's the safe, sure way to keep skin soft and smooth. It has active lather that removes thoroughly dust, dirt, and stale cosmetics, guards against the choked pores that cause cosmetic skin. Don't risk this unattractive complexion trouble that means dullness, tiny blemishes, enlarged pores. Use Lux toilet soap before you renew makeup, always before you go to bed. It's the mild, pure, safe care 9 out of 10 screen stars use to guard their priceless complexions. Here's Mr. DeMille.
Naughty Marietta continues, starring Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson. Captain Warrington's search for Marietta has ended in the city of New Orleans, without a sign of the runaway girl. At the colony's headquarters, His Excellency, the governor of Louisiana, loses patience and grows indignant over Warrington's failure.
I tell you, it's a disgrace to the colony. A girl, one lone girl, and a whole troop of soldiers cannot find her. What do you suppose you're being paid for?
Fighting.
And whatever else I choose fit to employ you at.
And you may accept my resignation, Your Excellency.
What?
I'm not here to play nursemaid. I'll protect you and your colony just as long as I'm paid for it and as long as it pleases me. But I will not protect you from a plague of petticoats.
I'm asking you to find one girl.
She's a plague all by herself. If you're so anxious to find her, send out your own men. They're soldiers, or supposed to be.
I don't care for your tone, Captain.
Sorry, Your Excellency, but it's the way I feel.
You may go, please.
Thank you. You can find me at the barracks.
Francois.
Yes, Excellency?
A letter to the King. Your Most Gracious Majesty, the arrogance and insubordination of certain of our mercenaries is past bearing. I beg your Highness to give me a free hand in this matter, and permission to deal with this situation as I see fit. That will be all.
Yes, Excellency.
10 o'clock and all's well. 10 o'clock and all's well.
Good evening, Watchman.
Oh, good evening, Captain Warrington. A beautiful night, monsieur.
Too beautiful for sleeping. I've been watching the play of the fountain in the moonlight.
In faith, monsieur, if I were you, I'd not stay too near this fountain in the dead of night. It is haunted, I think.
Haunted?
Oui, monsieur. These last 3 nights, a voice here singing. Always the same song, and never a finish to the song. It is haunted, monsieur.
Oh, Watchman, what of the night? No, I think you've been dreaming again.
I? Dreaming? No, monsieur. I perform my duty faithfully, monsieur.
Then go about it now, will you? And if you see any ghosts, let me know.
Oui, monsieur, oui. 10 o'clock and all's well. 10 o'clock and all's well.
Who's there? Who's there, I say? Come here. Come back here, you. So you want to be chased, huh? Come here. Stop. Do you hear me? Stop.
Oh, let me go. Let me go, please.
So I've caught the ghost, huh? Look up here, ghost, and let me see what you look... Oh, it's you.
So, it's you.
The runaway casquette girl. Well, your running is over, little one.
Take your hands off me.
Back you go, Saucy Nose. They've been looking all over for you. Come on.
No.
Come on.
No, please, listen. Don't take me back. They'll make me marry someone. I can't do that. Oh, please. You're the only friend I've got.
Friend? Last time I saw you, you slapped me in the face.
I didn't mean it.
No. Well, if I were a close friend, you'd probably brain me with a tomahawk. How did you get here?
I walked.
All the way? Through the swamps?
Of course.
Well, that's all right. You know, any woman who'd do that to avoid getting married is worth knowing.
Thank you, sir.
I admire that. You're a girl after my own heart.
You flatter me. But you're not going to take me back. You're not, are you?
Well, I don't know. I suppose if I did take you back, the governor would think I did it to please him. I wouldn't want that.
Oh, of course you wouldn't.
What do you know about
Nothing.
it? Then keep quiet.
Yes, sir.
Let me think now. We've got to find a place for you to live. I've got it. You can stay with my friend Rodolfo.
Rodolfo?
He runs a marionette theater.
What, I couldn't do that.
And he has 8 children.
Oh. Well, that's better.
You can sing in his theater. Come on, Saucy Nose.
Are we almost there?
Almost. Just down this street.
It's nice of you to do this for me. I said, it's nice of you to do this.
I heard you.
I'll never be able to repay you.
Stay in the shadows here. Here we are.
Well, aren't you going to knock?
In a moment. You know, you're a strange creature.
Am I?
What are you doing over here anyway?
I came along for the ride.
And then you spend your time walking through the swamps and hiding around fountains. I see. What was that song you were singing?
Oh, that. That was just something I made up.
It was pretty. How does it go?
You wouldn't be interested.
Go on, sing it.
Well, it's not very long. Of life, at last I found thee. I know at last the secret of it all.
Well, go on.
But that's as far as I got with it.
Why don't you finish it?
I can't. Yes. Perhaps you can help me.
Look, I sing songs. I don't write them. You'd better get in off the street.
Well, I don't suppose I'll be seeing you again.
Oh, you can't tell.
You mean you'll be coming here?
Why not? Rodolfo puts on good shows.
Oh.
Yes. Who is the knock?
Hello, Rodolfo.
Oh, Captain Dick. Hello. Come in.
I can't now, Rodolfo. Here, this is...
Marietta.
Marietta? Why, I'm happy to know.
She's got a nice voice, Rodolfo. And she's going to sing for you in your show.
In my show?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's nice. Sure.
Take care of her, will you? I'll drop around once in a while just to see she doesn't get you into any trouble.
Oh, sure. She's no trouble. This way, Marietta. This way.
Thank you, Captain. I haven't any idea why you've been so kind to me.
Neither have I. Good night.
Good night.
So she sings all the time, huh? She must be happy here, Rodolfo.
Oh, she's happy, sure. But sometimes she is sad, too. Then she sing about the mystery of life. Then she stop. No can finish. Then she cry.
Maybe I'd better look into this.
Oh, I think maybe you got something to do with this mystery song.
Me? What do you mean?
Well, all the time you come, and then when you go, she sing him all over again. It's crazy, you know.
Where is she?
Outside in the garden. You want to see?
Well, as long as I'm here, I might... See you later, Rodolfo. Hello.
Well, good morning, Captain. You're here again.
Oh, I was just passing by.
How nice. You pass this way often, don't you?
What?
Well, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
I'm glad you passed by, Captain. Company is always amusing. Don't you think so?
Rodolfo tells me you haven't been very happy here.
Why, I've never been so happy in my life. What does he mean?
He says you cry.
Oh, that. I cry because I'm happy. It's been thrilling here. Different from anything I've ever known, and I love it. Tomorrow night we're going to parade through the streets, and Rodolfo's going to let me sing.
In the streets? What for?
To drum up business, of course.
But in the streets, you'll be recognized.
In my costume and at night? No.
I suppose you know what'll happen if they catch you.
Well, I'll have to marry somebody. But I've been thinking it over. Perhaps it won't be as bad as I imagined.
Well, you certainly have changed, haven't you? All right, go ahead. It's none of my business.
Yes, that's what I thought.
But if you get into trouble, don't expect me to get you out of it.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of it, Captain. You've done far too much for me already.
The best show in New Orleans. Come see the marionette. Come see the play. Come hear the song.
Just sang. It's Marietta. Marietta? But it can't be. It isn't Marietta.
Who's she?
A casket girl. She ran away.
Casket girl, eh? There's probably a reward out for her. Come here, you.
What do you mean by, let me go?
Oh, no, you don't.
Hey, what are you doing?
What's the matter?
She's a casket girl. She's not a casket.
Leave me alone.
Now let her go. Catch hold of her. Come here, you. Take your hands off that girl.
Captain Warrington, they're going to take me.
Give me your hand. Up that street to the right.
Stand back, everybody, or I'll let you have a taste of steel. Get back, I say.
Come on, Marietta. Well, I guess this is far enough. Sit down.
Will they look for us?
Probably. I hope you're satisfied.
Oh, I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come along.
You'd have been married off to someone the first thing in the morning and serve you right.
Oh, are you angry?
Don't you think I ought to be?
Yes.
Well, I am.
Oh, yeah.
I see you've changed your mind again about getting married.
Well, I thought it over since last night. Now I've decided never to be married. Unless
what?
Well, unless somebody asks me.
Somebody in particular? Or just somebody?
Well, I don't know.
Well, that's definite anyhow. mostly.
Do I inspire such interest?
Well, it's the tip of your nose.
What?
The tip of your nose. Doesn't seem so saucy anymore, and much prettier, too.
Must be the moonlight.
I'm sure it is. Well, what happens now, I wonder?
Oh, must something always be happening?
You can't stay for Adolphus any longer. For that matter, you can't stay in New Orleans. You'll have to leave as soon as possible.
For where?
Somewhere north would be best.
Oh, and you?
Well, I've got to stay, of course.
Of course.
Oh, it's funny, but I think I'm going to miss you.
Are you? Why?
I don't know.
I'll miss you, too.
Why?
I don't know either.
Marietta, look at me. Why are we lying to each other?
I'm not.
Yes, you are, and so am I.
Oh, I'm all mixed up. I don't know what I feel or what I think. I've never been so mixed up before.
It's life that's all mixed up. Not you and not I. I've a very strange feeling I never felt before. 'Tis a kind of a grind of depression. My heart's acting strangely. It feels rather sore. At least it gives me that impression. My pulses leap madly without any cause. Believe me, I'm telling you truly. I'm gay without cause, then sad without cause. My spirits are truly unruly. Marietta.
No, don't, please.
But why? I love you, Marietta, and you just told me that
it's not as simple as that. There's more to it than you know. And you're forgetting. I've got to leave here. You have to stay.
We could leave together.
Oh, and what would happen to us? What would happen to you and that glorious free life of yours that means so much? We're not meant for each other, Dick. Believe me, we're not. And there are other things. Things you know nothing about.
I know I love you. I could forget everything for that.
I'll let you. But I won't, Dick. Because I love you too much to hurt you. I'll leave for the north in the morning.
Pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
So ends the second act of Naughty Marietta. Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson resume with Act 3 in just a few moments. In the meantime, we observe our custom of acquainting you with some of the interesting sidelights of motion pictures. This time we bring you a film critic, Mr. Oldfield of the Nebraska State Journal. In 1936 and 37, he saw every film released in the United States, 944 pictures, which I'm sure is a world's record. And what must also be something of a record among newspaper men at least is the fact that he's never smoked a cigarette or tasted liquor. Apparently, Mr. Oldfield, you have to keep in strict training.
Well, it's not that, Mr. DeMille, but I just don't seem to have time except to go to the movies. In January, for example, I saw 63 pictures, 44 in February, and so far, 47 in March.
If it were really necessary to see so many pictures, all the critics would do it. So what special reason do you have?
Well, for one thing, I like the movies.
You can stop right there. What's the greatest number you've seen in one day?
9, or a total of 75 reels without counting what are known as selected short subjects.
I'd intended asking you what the home life of a critic is like, but I don't suppose you're ever home to know what it's like.
Well, I get home once in a while. It's something like this. The day I was married, Anna Stan was making a personal appearance in Lincoln, Nebraska. Somebody thought it would be a good idea to have Miss Stan for a bridesmaid. Anna said yes, I said yes, and then I asked the little woman. She said nothing doing. This, she informed me, will not be a double feature. We drove to New York on our honeymoon, and was it great? I saw 13 movies, 11 stage shows, and 2 performances of a circus.
What a honeymoon. Does Mrs. Oldfield still go to the movies with you?
Does she? Well, last year she saw exactly 450 features, and it has certainly made her a dyed-in-the-wool Lux fan. She figures that if those beautiful women on the screen use Lux soap, that it's probably the best complexion care in the world, and she won't use anything else. I'll add with pardonable pride that her skin is as fresh as the day I met her at the movies. You can tell that to the Lux soap people, Mr. DeMille, if you want to. By the way, you can certainly learn a lot about people at the movies. In fact, I've learned so much that I'd like to extend a plea for greater picture enjoyment. But don't misunderstand, Mr. DeMille. I think pictures are great and are always getting better. My plea is addressed to the people who see pictures.
And there are 84 million paid admissions every week.
Yes, and I've become somewhat of an authority on the homo cinemati, which is just a fancy name for the people found in picture houses. Take type number 1, for instance. He's the model I wish all the other types would follow. He's a nice, average sort of person who goes to the movies to be entertained, who lets the people on the screen do all the talking and make all the noise.
A man after my own heart.
Then there's type number 2, the lady with the big hat or the bonnet shower-offer. Now, I think a lady has a right to wear any kind of a hat she wants to wear, but I think her lovely hair is much more attractive to the person behind her than her lovely new hat. Off with the hats, I say.
Seconded. Next.
Then comes the tongue ticker, the person who simply cannot refrain from passing comment via a slight variation of the Morse code. It goes like this, accompanied by a shaking of the head. To this type, let me say, lady, it's really only a motion picture, and everything's going to turn out all right. So don't worry, and please don't go... Next come a tipper offers. A tipper offer just can't resist tipping off the people around him about what is coming next. This, he is certain, will help them enjoy the picture more. I believe all theaters should be equipped with muzzles for these people, and that the purchase of a ticket should automatically give one permission to attach said muzzle to any tipper offer. And that brings me to the greener grassers.
Greener grasses?
The people who are always absolutely certain that the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, that they can always get a better seat somewhere down in front. These people always travel in pairs. One is always a very stout lady, and her partner is a gentleman carrying a package. It's up to the one to step on your toes as they squeeze past before you've had time to stand up and make room for them. If they should overlook stepping on your feet as they go out, they will get you on the return trip when they find there weren't any seats in front after all.
Any more homo cinemati?
Yes, the final type, the romancers in the dark. Obviously, this type also travels in pairs, which, oddly enough, consists of one boy and one girl, very much in love. I hold no brief against love. In fact, I think it is a stable, highly beneficial institution. But their dialogue is in distinct competition with that of the picture. At times, I've found it better than the screen conversation, interesting, to the point, and convincing. But there are people who would rather hear what the boy on the screen tells the girl on the screen. So in this case, I have a suggestion rather than an admonition. I think the romancers in the dark, instead of buying tickets, should hire a hall and sell tickets. I'm for greater picture enjoyment, Mr. DeMille, and I offer these few suggestions in the interests of my pals who belong to Type 1, the vast majority whose movie manners are above reproach. And now, Mr. DeMille, let me ask you a question or two. You know, ever since you came to Nebraska and gave us a special showing of The Plainsman, we've been hoping you'd make another picture touching on our state. I don't suppose I have to tell you that the story of the West provides enough drama and color and romance for a dozen great pictures.
Then our meeting tonight is evidently well-timed, because it was only today that I decided definitely what my next picture will be. The title is Union Pacific.
Union Pacific? Obviously a story of the railroads?
It must be more than that, Mr. Oldfield. For in Steam and Steel is written one of the most glorious chapters of our nation's background. In the late 60s, when the country had been torn apart with internal strife, there lay beyond the Mississippi a tremendous empire, ruled by nature, and such laws as were contained between the sights of a Winchester rifle. Into this forbidden land rolled the thunder buggy, whose footprints were wooden ties, and whose voice was the challenging whistle, screaming the battle cry of civilization. Mountain savages and outlaws barred the way, but steadily between east and west, a ring of steel rails was forged, the wedding ring of the states. That's the story of Union Pacific, as told through the lives of a man and a woman swept to their destiny on this tide of empire.
Thanks for the scoop, Mr. DeMille, and good luck to Union Pacific.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tibbet. Once again, Lawrence Tibbet and Helen Jepson in Naughty Marietta. It's early the following morning. On a road leading to the north, Marietta and Dick ride slowly through the morning mist.
I've arranged an escort for you. You'll meet two men about 5 miles from here. They'll see you as far as the next post, and you'll pick up two others. They'll take good care of you.
Thank you.
You'll be all right in Virginia, too. Unless you take to singing in the streets.
I won't, because I don't think I'll ever sing again. I don't suppose you'll ever be going north?
No.
I didn't think so. I'm sorry.
Well, you needn't be.
What?
Because you're not going either.
But, Dick...
I've just decided. You're staying right here. We'll go back and face the whole colony.
Oh, but we can't.
Now, don't argue. It's all settled. I can't let you go, Marietta. I can't.
Dick, listen.
Confound the luck.
Who is it?
Soldiers. Get off the road.
Oh, too late. They've seen us.
That doesn't mean they've taken us yet.
No, you can't fight, Dick. There are too many. They'll kill you.
Stand where you are. Captain Richard Warrington.
Well, what do you want?
Your sword, please. You're under arrest.
By whose order?
By the order of His Excellency, the Governor. Your sword, Captain.
Oh, Dick, give it to him. There are too many.
Will you come peacefully?
I will on one condition. That you take me to His Excellency at once.
His Excellency has already requested that.
Then here's my sword.
Oh, Dick, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. There's a way out of this for both of us. We're ready, Sergeant.
Ah, Captain Warrington. Come in.
I asked to see you, Your Excellency.
Yes, and I asked to see you. Well, Captain, I'm afraid you've overstepped yourself. I regret this more than I can say.
Regret? You've been waiting for this chance for months.
Giving aid and comfort to an escaped casket girl. It's a very serious charge, Captain. Very serious.
Never mind that. What happens to her?
Oh, she'll be held under guard, of course, until such time as she fulfills her obligation to the king.
By marriage?
Precisely.
Then you can release her now. She'll be married at once.
To whom, may I ask?
To me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Captain. But you're under arrest. And a prisoner forfeits his legal rights. Among them, the right to marry.
Why,
God! Your Excellency, you may escort the prisoner to the guardhouse.
Oh, yes.
of New Orleans. A reward has been offered for information concerning the Countess Dalkina, who arrived in this colony disguised as a casket girl. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of the Countess Dalkina is to communicate at once with His Excellency, the Governor. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I can't believe what you tell me, Your Grace. It's incredible. Incredible, I say. One of our casket girls, the Countess Dalkina.
Incredible but true, Your Excellency. My daughter refused my choice in marriage. I confined her to a room and she escaped. Took her maidservant's place among the casquettes and came here to New Orleans. We had it from the maid herself.
But, Your Grace, our casket girls have all been married. That is, all
I
but
don't
one.
care if she's married. I was a fool to force my choice upon her. All I want now is to see her safe and in good health. To assure myself that no harm has come to her. Here, I have a picture of her. This will help in your search.
But I'm sure no harm has come to her, Your Grace. Why, if any man has dared to trouble her, I'll see him at the whipping post. I'll see him... Your Grace. This picture.
Well?
This is your daughter, the Countess?
I said it was. You recognize her?
No. It's a resemblance. That's all I... Well, just for a moment I thought I... Will you excuse me, Your Grace?
Certainly.
I'll be back directly. Francois.
Your Excellency.
The casket girl. The one we've been holding. Release her at once.
Oh, but Your Excellency.
Release her, you fool.
Yes.
Don't stop to ask questions.
Yes, but I was just coming to tell you she's already escaped.
What?
Her cell is empty.
Then go and find her. Find her, you fool, or I shall have to escort myself to the whipping post.
This is the place, mademoiselle.
Leave me, please.
Oui, mademoiselle. Let no one see you.
Dick.
Who's there?
Shh. It's Marietta.
Marietta, in heaven's
Be
name.
quiet. I bribed the guard to let me come. Oh, I had to see you, Dick. I had to speak to you.
Don't say anything. Just let me look at you.
Oh, it's horrible that you have to be in here. And it's all my fault. Everything is my fault.
No, it isn't. I thought I had an ace up my sleeve with the governor, but it didn't work. Oh, well, that's what you get for being too sure.
You offered to marry me, didn't you?
What? Marry you?
You did. They told me all about it. Oh, it was very noble of you, Dick.
Well, it was very nervy, but I didn't have a chance to ask you first. You know, I had to act quickly.
Then you would have asked me? You really meant it.
I guess I did. See, I've learned something the last few days. Something I never knew before, never even thought of. You gave me the beginning, and I discovered...
Someone's coming.
We're in for it now. It's the governor and his whole retinue.
Oh, mademoiselle, we found you. Thank heaven.
Thank heaven.
We know everything. And I so humbly beg your grace's pardon.
Your grace?
Marietta,
Countess Deltina.
Oh, I see.
Yes. And you dared. You dared to propose.
It was you who dared, Your Excellency, by throwing me into a cell without a chance to speak.
Your Grace.
And for imprisoning my one and only protector. Release this man at once.
Why, yes, Your Grace. God.
You may go now.
Yes, Your Grace. Yes.
And you may go, too. If you wish, Captain.
Thank you, Your Grace.
Please don't. I was going to tell you. I just never got around to it. Doesn't make any difference, does it?
I'm only a soldier.
I could be a soldier's wife.
But you're a countess.
Well, couldn't you overlook it? I'd do as much for you if you were a prince or a duke.
You'd give up everything just for a soldier.
Everything. For this soldier.
Marietta.
Strains of Our Sweet Mystery of Life mark the conclusion of our play. No performance at the Metropolitan is complete until the stars have personally said their good nights. So to make Lawrence Tibbett and Helen Jepson feel right at home in the Lux Radio Theater, we bring them back for a curtain call. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tibbett and Miss Jepson.
You know, whenever I make a debut, it seems Larry Tibbett is always involved in it one way or another. When I made my debut at the Metropolitan in the Pasha's Garden, Lawrence Tibbett sang with me. When we did Captain Saki for the first time, we were together. And this year, when I sang Traviata at the Metropolitan for the first time, Larry was with me again.
And here at your Lux debut, who should show up but Mr. Tibbett?
Yes, just a shadow.
Well, this isn't exactly my Lux debut.
No?
No, Mr. DeMille. It's my debut on the stage. But I've always felt the best thing for my skin is the best soap. So Lux Soap made its debut at my house a long time ago and has been playing an engagement there ever since. We all use it.
So do we.
You two, you two do everything alike, don't you?
Well, no, not everything. Helen has just won the award for being one of America's 10 best-dressed women. I can't do that, and come to think of it, I don't sing soprano so well either.
And Helen doesn't stand on her head before she goes on the stage. Why do you do that, Lars?
Well, I like the feeling of blood rushing to my head. I've always been a firm believer in good, solid exercise before a performance.
And so have I.
Now, surely you don't stand on your head, Helen.
No, but I do agree. I always take a long walk out every afternoon when I'm on tour. And when I'm home in New York, I always try to walk around the Central Park Reservoir before an engagement.
You both concur in the old belief that opera singers should not eat heavily before a concert?
Well, yes, I quite agree. Now, I eat only about one meal a day when I'm singing. Nothing much either, just a nice little beefsteak about 3.5 or 4 inches thick with a nice plate of string beans on the side and maybe 2 or 3 sliced tomatoes.
Well, I don't see how you do it, Larry. I can never do away with more than 2 or 3 extra thick lamb chops.
Well, but you're on a diet.
There's another thing you two have in common, your farms. You go in for poultry, don't you, Larry?
I'll say I do. There's no finer hobby. But just last week, my 200 Plymouth Rocks laid 1,400 eggs.
I've heard, Helen, that you're famous for Angora rabbits at your farm. I suppose you go in for chickens, too?
Well, I do have about 400 Angora rabbits, but no chickens. We have ducks.
Can you imagine that, Mr. DeMille? Wasting your time on ducks?
Well, Walt Disney's done very well with one.
But ducks, a waste of time? Why, Larry Tibbett, Muscovy ducks are the finest egg layers in the world. I just can't sit back and let Larry talk like that. I have very definite convictions about Duck.
So have I. Thanks, Mr. DeMille. It was a grand evening here with you. Hope we can make it again sometime.
So do I.
So do we all. Before Mr. DeMille comes back to tell you about the dramatic treat planned for you next Monday night, may I say that our stars were assisted by Ian McLaren as Count Daltina, Ralph Kellard as Governor of Louisiana, Ferdinand Munier as Rudolfo, Otis Harlan as Watchman, Richard Abbott as Captain, Edwin Max as the Mate, Gay Seabrook as Josephine, Margaret McKay as Lizette, Grace Kern as Nanette, James Eagles as Francois, and Lou Merrill as Town Crier. Louis Silvers appeared through courtesy of 20th Century Fox Studios, where he was in charge of music for the new film, Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. Now, our producer. The Bible says there's no new thing under the sun. But our play next Monday night, Dark Victory, certainly presents a new kind of love story. Not long ago, it attained a notable success on Broadway and comes to our stage starring Barbara Stanwyck and Melvyn Douglas. Dark Victory is the romance of a surgeon and a wealthy society girl, faced with a problem such as life seldom presents to a man and woman deeply in love. Their great courage shows the way to a brave solution. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Barbara Stanwyck and Melvyn Douglas in Dark Victory. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is smile. S-M-I-L-E.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. Folks, it's another big night on You Bet Your Life. Later in this program, we're going to bring you exciting news about the new 1953 Plymouth, the first truly balanced car in the low-priced field. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
You know who that is? That's me. Here's the way you have to smile on television. It's like phenomenon. It just occurred to me. Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples.
Groucho, just before we went on the air...
You're just the same now as you did a minute ago.
Groucho, just before we went on the air...
Aren't you sick of saying that?
Our studio audience selected a fellow by the name of Mr. John Martin, who works for an employment bureau, and his partner is a housewife, Mrs. Morris Collins. Folks, come on in to meet Groucho Marx, please.
Well, how do you do? How do you do? Welcome. Welcome to You Bet Your Wife. Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Mrs. Collins and John Martin. Mrs. Collins, are you related to Tom?
No.
Must be pretty sick of that joke, huh? Where are you from, Mrs. Collins?
Quincy, Massachusetts.
And what is your hometown, Mr. Martin?
Well, I'm a native Angelino. Was born in the Green Meadows district.
Green Meadows?
Out by the oil wells.
Oh. Were you born near a sump pump? I don't know what a sump pump is, really. Something you have in the cellar, I think, that floods usually, and you have to send for the plumber. What is your first name, Mrs. Collins?
Aida, but I prefer Ada.
You prefer Ada?
Yes.
Ada from Decatur?
Just Ada.
No, I think I like Aida better. It's a very pretty name, you know. Where'd you get that name?
Well,
How'd you get that name?
My father was a lover of operas, and he named me after his favorite opera, Aida.
Oh, well, you should be happy he wasn't crazy about the Barber of Seville. What's your husband's name?
Maurice, but I prefer Morris.
Uh-huh. Well, does he know that you prefer Morris?
I call him Morris.
Well, how did you two get together?
Well,
Was he in a Maurice chair? And
No, I really met him in the cellar of my home.
Now you're talking.
He was helping the plumber install the steam heat in my mother's home.
Oh, and you started warming up to each other right away. Well, did you marry the steam fitter immediately, or did you wait a little while?
I waited a while.
Well, that's all right, as long as you had a good fire going in the furnace. How long did you wait? 6 months?
16 years.
16 years?
Yes.
I didn't know you could bank a furnace that long. Now, what is it you do? I forget, Mr. Martin.
I'm a personnel counselor at Mutual Employers Association.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty involved. What kind of an outfit is that? Tell us something about it.
Well, it's an association of employers to secure personnel for medium and small-sized firms.
Could you help me find a secretary?
No, I couldn't.
You mean you've spoken to a few of my former secretaries? It's a lie, every word of it.
I mean that you'd have to become a member of the association.
So, well, let's say I was a member. How do you proceed in getting me a secretary?
Well, the secretary would come into the office and be greeted by our receptionist. And
what does the receptionist look like?
She's a beautiful redhead.
Well, let's skip the secretary and just send me the receptionist. I'd like to go on talking to you, but in just 1 minute you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question. Now, before we proceed, I have a note here I'd like to read. It says there are many fighting men in Korea and in the hospitals in the Far East who will be forgotten this Christmas because they have no family or folks back home. Here's how you can play Santa Claus with these boys. Mail a Christmas present or send a donation to Give a Lift with a Gift in care of the Los Angeles Junior Chamber of Commerce. They'll fly your gift over to Korea. I think this is a great idea. Let's all do it right away. It isn't too late. Send it in care of the Los Angeles Junior Chamber of Commerce. All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. Fenneman, would you mind explaining the rules to these young couple?
All right. You bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,500 DeSoto Plymouth question later on in the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. Out of our list of 20 categories, you selected number 2, characters from plays by William Shakespeare. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
Will 17 do?
I think that'll be...
$17. The Montagues and the Capulets have a feud in what Shakespearean play?
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet is right.
Off to a good start. You have $37.
Now, how much of your $37 you're going to try for on this one?
34, 35.
Okay.
Anything you like. 35 will do.
$35. Othello's wife was smothered to death. What was her name?
Yeah.
Othello's wife.
Desdemona.
Desdemona, you got in right on the bell.
You now have $72.
And I'm very happy about that because I knew you had it on the tip of your tongue. You just couldn't get it out. Let's see your tongue. Part of it is still hanging on there. Now, here's your third question. How much of the $72 are you going to risk this time?
Let's try,
$72. Come on.
70.
Time's a wasting. $70. What was the name of the husband in The Taming of the Shrew?
I can't think of that one.
No, I'm sorry. It's Petruchio.
You now have $2.
Well, you still have a chance to beat the other couples. How much of the $2 are you going to bet?
Bet it all.
Bet it all. All right. Puck, Oberon, and Titania are characters from what play?
Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's right. Midsummer Night's Dream.
Well, they wound up with $4, Groucho.
You're not through yet. Nobody leaves here with $4. I'll give you one more question for $21, which will give you a total of $25. Are you ready? What animal do you associate with Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo.
The bill is right. Buffalo Bill. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And now, Groucho, here's our next contestant, Mr.
Plymouth. That is Peters. Say, Fenneman, wait till you see her.
Who?
The new 53 Plymouth. Tomorrow's the day, you know. And, boy, that car's going to make history. Why, it's...
Yes. But, Mr. Peters, the question...
No question about it. The new 53 Plymouth is a new kind of low-price car. Nothing else like it on the road. Looks different, rides different. It's built different. And the Plymouth engine stepped up to 100 horsepower.
Oh, really, Mr. Peters, we're trying right now.
No good trying now. You gotta wait till tomorrow. But then, oh, baby, wait till you see the sensational new...
Mr. Peters, suppose we just walk over...
No, don't walk. Run to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers tomorrow. Bring your wife, your kids, your fountain pen.
Fountain pen?
Sure. Once you meet the new Plymouth, it's easy as pie to enter the big $25,000 contest. Why, they're giving away 6 new 53 Plymouths and hundreds of cash prizes. Get your entry blank from your DeSoto Plymouth dealer, but make sure it's mailed before next Monday midnight.
Mr. Peters, are you a contestant on You Bet Your Life, or aren't you?
A contestant? Heck no. Just want to tell the world about the important new 53 Plymouth. Well, thanks for the use of your mic, Mr. Fenneman. And don't forget, everybody, meet the new Plymouth tomorrow.
Groucho, we invited some lady cab drivers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Jean Fleurichamp. Her partner is an unusual schoolboy, Mr. Walter Plummer. Folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, youngsters, to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Miss Jean Fleurichamp, is that the way you pronounce it? Fleurichamp? And Mr. Walter Plummer, eh? Jean, you're a cab driver?
Yes, I am.
Yellow?
No.
No?
No.
What color is your cab?
Well, it's yellow, but I'm a very brave person, really.
Oh. I know it isn't polite to ask a woman her age, so how old were you when you started driving a cab?
I was 23.
I see. And how long have you been driving?
Well, Groucho, we don't count the years of experience in years. We count it in mileage.
Really? You don't look as though you'd gone over 5,000 miles. Unless, of course, you're using retreads. I don't know. How old are you, Jean?
I'm 31.
31? Well, you don't look it, huh? How old are you, Mr. Plummer?
13.
13, huh? Where do you live?
Claremont.
Claremont. Where is Claremont?
Oh, about 5 miles north of Pomona.
Where's Pomona?
Oh, well, that's where they have the county fair each year, the Los Angeles County Fair. It's pretty well known for that.
It is, huh? Were you on exhibition there? Now then, precisely where is Claremont?
4 miles north of Pomona.
You just said it was 5 miles. Apparently, Claremont is a fast little place. At the present rate, it's going a mile a minute. What sort of work does your father do, Walter?
He's an electrician out at Kaiser's steel mill.
And your last name is Plummer?
Mm-hmm.
And your father's electrician? Is your father a plumber, too, or is he just an electrician?
Well, he's a plumber, too.
Oh, I see. Well, after all, some plumbers are electricians. Last time I got a bill from a plumber, I certainly got a shock. That's no hokum either, huh? Well, let's talk about your work, Jean. Isn't it unusual for a woman to be driving a yellow?
No.
You think women are more skillful drivers than men?
Yes, I think they're more courteous, and yes, I think they're better drivers.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say that?
Well, because I'm a woman.
I guess they are more skillful at that. They have to be to get a car in the garage sideways. Mr. Plumber, what do the kids call you, by the way? They don't call you Mr. Plumber, do they?
I've got a sort of nicknames. They mostly call me Terry, but they call me Turpentine Terry, Terry and the Pirates, and Turkey Terry, and all kinds of names.
Turkey Terry? That's just around Thanksgiving they call you. Why do they call you Turpentine Terry?
Don't ask me.
Well, I'll ask you. Why do they call him Turpentine Terry?
Oh, my.
Well, that's a good answer, too. Now, where does the Terry come from? I thought your middle name was Walter.
Well, my middle name is Terrence, and it's taken from that.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll call you what the other kids call you, Turpentine Terry, eh? Is that all right with you? Now, do you have any hobbies, Terry?
Oh, I like to play football and baseball and basketball, and I collect stamps and...
Mm-hmm. Well, you sound like a typical red-blooded American boy. Do you have any other hobbies?
Oh, I like to cook.
What was that?
I like to cook.
I think this red-blooded American boy is going to pot. What do you mean you like to cook? Are you a good cook?
Well, I try.
What makes you think you can cook?
Well, I won 2 blue ribbons out at the fair this year for cakes.
Oh, that's what you were doing at the fair? What kind of cakes? Hot cakes?
No, one was sponge cake and one was chocolate angel food cake.
Well, my congratulations, Terry. What is your ambition? Would you like to be a chef someday?
Well, I'd like to be a chef in a big hotel like the Waldorf Astoria or something like that, or a chef on television or something like that.
Just think, someday the Waldorf will feature on this menu. Veal cutlet a la Turpentine Terry. Well, it's time to stop talking and start winning some money. You're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,500 question. Terry, if you win all that money, you'll feel just like I do since I got my new DeSoto. I got it last week, and I'm crazy about it. I really am. Now, you just beat our other couples. That's all you have to do.
Our first couple won $4. The secret word is smile.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected first and middle names of famous women. I'll give you the initials, and you tell me what they stand for. Here's your first question. How much will you bet? Now, talk it over between you.
17? Good enough? Mm-hmm.
$17? M.B. Eddy was the founder of the Christian Science Church. What do the initials stand for?
Mary Baker?
That's right. Mary Baker.
You're off to a good start. You have $37.
Remember, you're going for $1,500 tonight. Now, how much of your $37 will you bet on your second question?
36. Okay. 36?
Can't hear you.
36 again.
Okay. C.J. Bond was a famous songwriter. What do the initials stand for?
Carrie Jacob.
That's right. Carrie Jacobs.
You've now climbed to $73.
Here's your third question. How much of the 73 will you drop?
70.
H.P. Stowe, S-T-O-W-E, wrote a famous book. What do the initials stand for? Talk it over.
No, I don't think I know.
I'm sorry. It's an easy one, but you're just nervous. It's Harriet Beecher.
Oh.
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
You now
All right.
have $3.
You now have $3, so don't be discouraged. You still have a chance to beat the other couples. How much are you going to bet?
3, we might as well.
Okay. E.B. Browning was a famous poetess. What do the initials stand for?
Elizabeth Barrett.
Elizabeth Barrett is right.
And you wind up with $6.
I'll give you one more question. Get this right, and we'll bring the total up to 25. Are you ready?
Yes.
Who was buried in Grant's tomb?
Oh, Grant.
Mrs. Grant is right.
Groucho, just before we went on the air, we selected Mrs. Christina Kelly and Mrs. Amelia Craig for reasons which I'm sure you'll discover when you meet these ladies. So, ladies, would you come out and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, girls, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you always have with you. Mrs. Christina Kelly and Mrs. Amelia Craig. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Fenneman sounded a little mysterious when he introduced you. Apparently, I'm supposed to find out something surprising about you well, I'll get it
Maybe
if I have to sweat it out of you, huh? Now, Kelly, where were you on the night of June 12, 1922?
I don't remember.
You don't, eh? Well, I can understand that. I don't even know where I was last night. How old are you, Kelly?
63 years old.
You expect me to believe that? Where are you from, Kelly?
I was born in Denmark.
You were born in Denmark with a name like Kelly? You'll get 20 years for that one. Something's certainly rotten in Denmark. I'd better try and break down the other one, I think. Craig, that's a Scotch name. How old are you?
63.
You're both 63, eh?
Yes.
You got together on your stories, eh? Well, you can't outwit me. I wasn't born yesterday either, you know. Couple of decent mobsters if I ever saw one. What's your racket, kids? Now, come clean now. You're one of the extortion mob that's charging $1.50 for a haircut? Craig, where are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
I think I'm beginning to catch on. You are Schwesters?
We are sisters.
You're sisters, huh?
We are twins.
Twins, huh? Well, that's impossible. You don't look anything alike. Kelly, let me see you wiggle out of that one. Go ahead and remember everything you say may be held against you.
Well, we are not identical twins, but we are fraternal twins.
Fraternal twins,
yes.
Eh? What fraternity do you belong to?
We don't have to be brothers because we are fraternities. They also comes in sisters. We have got the same parents and we are born at the same time.
I see. Well, what are you girls doing in Los Angeles? Are you having a vacation out here?
No, we are living here and working.
Oh, well, what are you? A couple of bookies? What sort of work do you do?
Well, I'm a professional cook.
Oh.
At present, I'm cooking for Mr. and Mrs. Earl C. Anthony.
Oh. Tell us about some of the dishes that you put together.
Well, the Anthonys, they're like my famous Danish hamburgers. You know, I make them just like a New Yorker cut. And
you never exhibited a cake at the Pomona Fair, have you?
No, I've never been in Pomona yet.
Oh.
So I'd say I would like it.
Well, what else do you make besides this hamburger?
Well, then I make a famous dish you call for pie with nothing in it.
A pie with nothing in it, huh?
Yes.
Must take a lot of crust to make a pie like that.
I'll say it does.
Well, what is this pie exactly?
Well, I make an ordinary pie crust, and then I roll it out very thin and put
It's like strudel, huh?
That's right. And then I put in just a very thin layer of orange marmalade.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
well, send me one sometime, will you?
I sure will, Mr. Marx.
Do you have any other hobbies besides gangsterism? And cooking pies with nothing in it?
Well, I knit.
You knit?
Yes.
What do you knit? You knit what?
I've been knitting for Red Cross.
What do you do? You knit strudels and things like that?
Yes.
She knits
sweaters.
What? Sweaters?
I've been knitting some 450 to 500 sweaters and socks and helmets and everything.
But it's always in the wartime. In the wartime.
Why do you do all this knitting? For the boys in the armed forces?
Yes.
Well, that's wonderful. That's a marvelous achievement. You've certainly made a lot of people happy. Now tell me, little apple strudel, what can I do to make you happy?
Well, if you think you're thinking of kissing me, you better not try.
Well, when the 63-year-olds start turning me down, I'm all washed up. I'm turning my body in the first thing in the morning. Well, it's been a very happy experience talking to you two girls, and I wish you lots of luck in the quiz. Because right now you have a chance to win a lot of money. You run your $20 into more than other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,500 question. I can't tell you how much you have to win, but Mr. Fenneman is going to remind our listeners.
Our second couple, the lady cab driver and the schoolboy, are ahead with $6.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected nursery rhymes and fairy tale characters. Here's your first question. Now, how much will you bet?
15. 18. 18. Okay.
$18. You ready? Who bumped off Cock Robin with a bow and arrow?
What? Robin. What?
Talk it over.
Robin.
Who bumped off Cock Robin with a bow and an arrow? Who killed him? I'm sorry, it was the sparrow.
The sparrow.
Oh, gee. You now have $2.
All right, now don't be discouraged. You're going for $1,500 tonight, and that's the big prize. How much are you going to bet on your second question?
All of it. Okay.
All of it?
$2.
$2. What was the name of the kid who could have his wishes granted by a big stooge merely by rubbing a lamp?
Aladdin.
Aladdin is right. Don't get discouraged.
Well, you're climbing again. You have $4.
Here's your third question. How much of the $4 will you try?
$4. Yeah.
$4. What was the name of the kid who hit the sack with one sock on and one shoe on? With one sock and one shoe on.
My son John.
That's right. Diddle diddle dumpling, my son John.
You now have $8.
Went to bed with the stockings on. One shoe off and one shoe on. Diddle diddle dumpling, my son John. I know that too. All right, now you have $8, and here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much will you bet?
All of it.
All
of it.
What fairy tale character parlayed a few prolific bean seeds into a fortune?
Jack and the Beanstalk.
Jack and the Beanstalk is right.
Well, you wind up with $16, and that means that you sisters get the chance of the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question in just 1 minute.
And now here's a pretty girl with some news about a beautiful car.
Hello, I'm Wendy Barry, and I'm really excited about the new 1953 DeSoto that's now at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Honestly, it's the most beautiful car I've ever seen. You'll notice right away the wonderful styling of this distinguished 1953 DeSoto. The way the wide one-piece rear window curves around the back, and the really dramatic lines of the long swept-back fenders, and the lower, wider deck lid. Inside, too, this new DeSoto is just beautiful. They've taken rich, fashionable nylon and combined it with the gorgeous trim. Of course, there's DeSoto's full-power steering, too, which means that I can turn the steering wheel with just one finger. Honestly, I think this is the most beautiful, the finest car ever built. The distinguished 1953 DeSoto is available in two great series, the mighty 160-horsepower Fire Dome V8 and the brilliant DeSoto Powermaster 6. Tomorrow, see the distinguished 1953 DeSoto at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And now, Groucho, here are the Danish twin sisters, all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
All right. Well, girls, here's your chance to clean up now. Of course, you'll have to split this between you, but you're all in one family. Do you split the money?
Sure we do. Always.
Right. Here we go for $1,500. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help in the audience. Are you ready? Yes. In 1660, a former tinker was imprisoned at Bedford, England, for unlawful preaching. During the 12 years of his incarceration, he wrote an unforgettable book, Pilgrim's Progress. For $1,500, what was his name? Talk it over. right, girls, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Nothing?
No.
Don't anyone want to guess?
No,
I'm sorry. The correct answer is John Bunyan.
And Groucho, you know, we neglected something. They only made $16 in the quiz. So we can't let them go away with that.
Well, I'll give you one more question to bring the quiz up to 25. Are you ready? What do you mix with water to get soap suds?
Lye.
What?
Lye. Lye.
That's a lie. It's soap, but soap suds anyway. So that means that the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, they lost the big money, but you won $25 in the quiz. And thanks and good luck and congratulations to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the distinguished 1953 DeSoto also sell the brilliant new Plymouth, the first.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
From the United States, for the Armed Forces of the United Nations, the Special Service Division of the War Department presents a delayed broadcast of one of America's most popular radio programs, The Red Skelton Show.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Red, what you been doing this past week?
Oh, we've had a swell time. Over the weekend, we went to the Ringling Brothers Circus, and then we saw Ozzie and Harriet at the Capitol Theater, and after that, we went night clubbing.
Night clubbing?
Yeah, we walked past the Stork Club in the El Morocco.
Well, why didn't you go in?
That's funny, my girl kept asking me the same thing. Hiya, folks. Come one, come all. Capitol Theater. What a show, what a show, what a show. You know that ain't in here.
Hi, Red.
Oh, Harriet, did you have a good time? We took you to the nightclub last night?
I sure did, Red, but I must say you're quite a dancer.
Yeah?
I saw you leading the conga line.
I wasn't leading a conga line.
You weren't?
Now, the fellow in the back of me was a pickpocket, and he had very cold hands. Oh, my shorts, too.
Well, I suppose you were all decked out in top hat, white tie, and tail.
No, I rented a tuxedo from Max's men's store.
You looked awfully nice, Red, but who was that little guy who was hanging around wherever you went?
That was Max. See, the pants were a little tight, and he kept whispering, remember, if you sit down, we ain't responsible.
Well, Red, how was the floor show?
Well, the floor shows have been cut down every place in New York. They used to have girls that came out with bubbles, but no more.
No more?
No, midgets come out now with grapes.
Oh, say, Ozzie, I meant to ask you, who's that strange-looking girl you invited over to our table?
Oh, she was just a friend. Didn't you think she was pretty red?
There's a comma there.
Didn't you think she was pretty red?
Well, I thought she was all right. Just a trifle bow-legged.
Trifle bow-legged. From the hips down, she looked like an Iceman's thongs without the ice.
As long as you're not in love with anyone else, why don't you fall in love with me? You're driving me crazy, baby, trying to guess. Will you tell me no, or will you tell me yes?
Say, is that tone too high for you, or is your voice changing?
It's bound to be.
You don't know the words either.
As long as you're not in love
Higher.
with anyone else,
Higher.
why don't you fall in love with me? I made it. Why don't you fall in love with me?
Say, what's the name of this song?
Why don't you fall in love with me?
That's what I thought.
Would you like to go out on Friday? I've got tickets for the fight.
Oh, I'm getting married Friday. How about Saturday night?
You know, I can tell at a glance that I'm using the wrong approach. I'm not being taken seriously.
Oh, you're being taken all right, only you don't know it.
As long as you're not dancing with anyone else, why don't you have this dance with me? Woo. We'll talk it over. Why don't you have this dance with me?
Say, do you always dance like this?
No, sometimes I move my feet. Let's you and I get married tonight. I'll wear my zoot suit.
Well, I was going to the movie, but you are kind of cute.
You gotta go overboard for someone someday. Believe it or not, it's bound to be. As long as you're not in love with anyone else, why don't you fall in love with me? For I've got butter. Why don't you fall in love with me?
Why Don't You Fall in Love with Me was sung by Ozzie and Harriet, who've been held over at the Capitol Theater by special request of Ozzie's mother. Morgan throwing the Morse plan.
Hey, Red, how you doing in your picture with the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Oh, fine. Say, you know those Brooklyn ball games are really thrilling to watch? The ball players are at one end of the field, the fans are at the other end of the field, the blood bank in the middle.
That sure must be fun.
Yeah, there was one guy in the bleachers who was trying to get a date with a girl, see, and he wasn't getting any headway. Finally, the umpire yelled, "Play ball!"
Those umpires sure have a tough time, don't
You
they?
said it, especially when there are guys like Willie Lump Lump around to heckle them.
Hey, hiya, Willie. See, you made it all right today.
Yeah. I had a tough time pushing my way through them cocktail lounges, though.
Hot dogs, nice fresh hot dogs.
Hey, get on this grill selling hot dogs, eh?
Have a hot dog, Bub?
I'd rather have a kiss.
Okay, here.
Fine place to carry mustard.
Come on, Willie, will you hurry up? Our seat is over here somewhere. What does it say on your ticket?
Tickets, let's see. It says Tunnel 5, Section 12, Tier 4, Box 13, Row 10, Seat 611. Oh, let's stand up.
Hey, Willie, how come your boss left you off for the opening game?
Well, I told him my uncle died.
Did he fall for that old dad?
Yeah, but I think he was wise, though. He said, going to the funeral, huh? Sorry I can't see Higby fix the sermon.
Come on, Willie, let's sit over here. This is close enough to heckle the umpire.
Yeah, I gotta be careful this season. I got in a lot of trouble last year when I threw that pop bottle at the umpire.
Oh, that's nothing. Everybody threw bottles at the umpire that day.
I know, but the bottle I threw had a baby on the end of it.
Oh, Willie. That's terrible.
Yeah, it was. His mother stubborn about it.
Stubborn?
Yeah, she wouldn't let go of the baby.
Hey, look, Willie. There's your pal, the umpire.
All right, table. Hello, Stinky! How you been?
Now you leave me alone, you big bully.
Why'd you call me?
You're a big bully.
He ain't lived in Brooklyn very long.
Now look here, if you don't let me alone today, I'm gonna have you thrown out.
You let me alone. How you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm warning you.
Go on, Gumpot. Better up! Look, Willie, the pitch is winding up.
Don't sound too good. He better try his other arm. Macon ain't got much choice now, has he?
Here comes the first pitch.
Right! I was too strike!
Oh, yes, it was.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, yes, it was. I'll teach you to heckle me. Now, take this. And this. And this. And this.
Oh, no, it wasn't! Why don't you learn something about baseball? You're so dumb you think a pop fly is a male insect with a blessed event.
All right, Willie, here comes the next pitch. Boy, what a coin. Hey, this guy's got more coins than Hedy Lamarr.
He may have more curves than Hedy Lamarr, but his don't go at you.
That last pitch was a strike.
What?
Ball.
What?
Ball.
What?
That's all. I quit. Suppose you come down here and umpire this game.
Okay, I'll come down and umpire the game. Now I'll see the Brooklyn Dodgers get a fair deal, too.
All right. Okay, here's my chest protector.
Thanks.
And here's my chest.
Hey, on second thought, I don't need this chest protector.
Oh, yes, you do. Suppose the pitcher throws a fastball and hits you on the chest.
Don't worry, I'm tough. Nothing could hurt my chest, boy. Play ball! Oh, look at that. I got a peephole now. Okay, batter up. Ball one. Ball two. Ball three. Ball four. You're out.
What do you mean he's out?
The bases are loaded and I ain't got no place to put them.
Say, Red, how do they go about finding baseball players?
Well, they have talent scouts who search the country for fellas with baseball talent. Now, you take Cliff. He was almost signed up once. Well, here I am. Boy, what a beautiful day. Spring is here. Soon be warm enough to wear my black and white sports feet again. You know, I kind of like to go barefooted. Send my big toe ahead to do a little scout trouble for me. Oh, feels good to put my feet on the ground. Oh! Some wise guy left a lighted cigarette around. Oh, Gee, Davy, Jr., your face looks so pretty today. Your skin is so smooth.
Is it really smooth, Clem?
Do with a retread job, if you ask me.
Say, Clem, let's walk over there near to them squirrels.
Okay.
For goodness sake, Clem, you're walking with one foot on the sidewalk and one foot in the gutter.
Well, I gotta get my foot clean, you know.
Now, what good is one clean foot?
Don't worry, on the way back, I'll do it the other way.
Clem, you ought to stop all this foolishness. You're beginning to look bad.
Yes, I do. You know, I went to Uncle Stubby's funeral the other day, and he got up out of the box and says, "Here, Clem, you need it worse than I do."
Uncle Stubby, didn't he used to play baseball?
Yeah, he was a catcher, never even used a mitt. Caught everything in his bare hands.
Bare hands?
Yep.
Why, Clem, some of them fastballs them pitchers throw at Terry's hands off.
What? I wonder if that's why they called him Stubby.
Say, I hear that there's some baseball scouts in town looking for new recruits.
Well, say, maybe I could get a job pitching.
Now, what do you know about baseball?
Well, I used to be a spitball pitcher's assistant.
A spitball pitcher's assistant?
Yeah, along about the fourth inning, his mouth would get dry, and I'd run out with more ammunition. Like all kids, he's crazy about baseball. So, Harriet, you be my mother, and I'll be a mean little baseball fan. Mummy!
What is it, Junior?
Lock the doors, lock the windows, because that little kid will get next door, get a hold of me. See, I'm so excited I can hardly talk. If he gets a hold of me, you can use me little bed for a victory garden.
Well, what happened?
Well, we were playing baseball, and he got a little bit too close to the bat.
Oh, Junior, did you hit that little boy with a baseball bat?
Well,
Answer me.
Boy, what a clunk,
Junior, tell me what happened.
Well, I was going to bat. He threw the ball, I hit it, and then he made a very nasty remark that I didn't like as the ball went through the window.
So you hit him?
No, it was an accident. I said, you take one step towards me, and I'm going to club you with a head in.
Well, did he take the step?
Look out the window. What do you see?
Well, I see a little boy laying on the ground.
He ain't taking a sun bath.
Oh, Junior, that's very naughty.
Huh?
Now, I'm going to have to punish you for that.
Well, now, that's mighty neighborly of you. I got it coming to me. If you're going to use your hairbrush?
Yes, I am.
Well, you think you could see your way clear to use the hairy side?
Well, that depends on whether you want to get bruised or scratched. Now, go get the brush, Junior.
Okay. You want me to get the brush?
And don't try to hide it.
She gets it done pretty quick, don't she, boy? Oh, boy. There's a hairbrush up on the dresser. Here it is, Mummy.
All right, Junior. Turn around.
You broke the little bridge in me with a nose. You broke the bridge in me with a nose.
Oh, stop that. There's nothing wrong with your bridge.
Yeah, but then how come it's only one-way traffic?
At times I think you're as dumb as your father.
You know that funny? Pop says I was only half as dumb as you is.
Just for that, I'll play an encore. Give me that hairbrush.
Over to the left a little. You're on the bias.
Now, come on. Time for your nap.
Nap? Do I hear me little ears right? A nap-a-roo? Don't you know what today is?
No, what?
Well, it's Ladies' Day at the ball game.
Well, what's Ladies' Day at the ball game got to do with you?
I could wear you fascinator. And we going to the ball game?
We can't go without your father. You know he always goes on Ladies' Day.
Yes, and so many people take you both for sisters, too.
Junior, your father does not dress up like a woman to get in free.
Oh, no. Hey, Mom, Pop says this dress is pretty thin for such a cold day.
Well, tell him to slip on a pair of my snuggies.
Now, I want to go to the ball game. I want to chew on some popcorn.
Why must you chew on some popcorn?
Because when I spit, everybody thinks it's me baby teeth and it scares them to death.
Oh, all right. Go get your coat and we'll go.
Okay. You're going to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Buy me peanuts and cracker jack. I fall off the bleachers and break me back. Oh, the door. Hey, I better get some money on me piggy bank. I might meet a little girl and I could flash me roll. I'll climb up on this chair here. Uh-oh. It's kind of shaky since I sawed the legs off. Uh-oh. There goes me bank. Oh.
Now what happened?
You know me piggy bank?
Yes.
Really barbecued now. Hey, I better put the money in my pocket. Lock the doors. I've been robbed.
What are you?
I've been robbed. Me pennies is there. Me dimes is there. Where's me quarter?
Oh, your quarter. Well, you...
Speak up.
Well, I borrowed it this morning to pay the Iceman dear.
You tell. Come on, put it back.
Don't worry, I'll put it back.
Okay.
Now, I'm all ready. Let's go.
Okay, we go to the ball game. Yeah, let's go.
Hold on to Mother's hand, Junior.
Okay.
And stop walking on the curbstone.
Well, the last time I walked close to the curb, I found 50 cents in the gutter.
You did?
Yes, I did. Look, isn't that a dime laying out in the street?
A dime?
Mommy, that ain't fair. I thought of it first.
All right, Junior. Here we are.
Well, look who's taking tickets. Oh, it's you again.
Yeah.
Now look, lady.
Yeah.
You keep that unpleasant little character of yours well shackled today. I don't mind him sassing me.
Oh.
But when he runs out on the field, trips up the runners when the game is tied, that is too much.
I'm gonna be good today. Shall we shake hands on it?
Well, okay, I'll shake hands.
Oh!
What's the matter?
He had a pin cushion in his hand.
Oh, Junior, how could you do such a thing? Look, you've bent all my pins. I finally found a fellow almost completely divine. But his vocabulary is killing this romance of mine. We get into an intimate situation, and then begins this Romeo's conversation. He says,
murder.
He says, every time we kiss, he says,
murder.
He says, at a time like this, he says,
murder.
He says, is that the language of love? He says,
solid.
He says, takes me in his arms and says,
solid.
He says, meaning all my charms, he says,
oh, solid.
He says, is that the language of love? He says,
oh, Chip, you torture me. Zeus, really living.
I'm thinking of leaving him flat. He says,
oh, dig the jumps the old kicker is giving.
Now he can talk plainer than that. He says,
murder.
He says, every time we kiss, he says,
solid murder.
He says, keep it up like this and that.
Solid murder.
He says, in that impossible tone, we'll bring on nobody's murder but his own. He says,
Jackson.
He says, now who could Jackson be? He says,
Jackson.
He says,
oh, shoot the snoot to me.
He says,
Jackson.
He says, is that the language of love? he says,
woof, woof.
He says, when he likes my hat, he says, woo! He says, what is that? He says, woo! He says, is that the language of love? He says,
hip, hip, and with helium. Now, babe, we're cooking.
and other expressions to it. He says,
we're right in that old groove, and the groove is good looking.
He sounds like his uppers don't fit. He says,
murder.
He says, every time we kiss, he says,
solid murder.
He says, keep it up like this and that.
Murder.
He says, in that impossible tone, we'll bring on nobody's murder but his own.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
The Johnson Wax Program with Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. The makers of Johnson Car New and the whole family of Johnson Protective Surface Products present for your enjoyment The Great Gildersleeve, written by Len Levinson. Your new summer radio show brought to you each Tuesday night at this time.
We'll hear all about the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Right now, here's a question for you quiz lovers. What is it that does two things at the same time? You're right, it's Johnson's Car New, that both cleans and wax polishes your car at one and the same time in one easy operation. Now, if you drive a dull and dirty car around town, it's just because you haven't heard about Car New. You don't know how easy it is to give your car that showroom shine your family will admire so much. My suggestion to you for today is just this. Try a string around your finger if necessary to remember to stop in at your regular wax dealer, auto supply store, or service station and buy yourself a can of Johnson's Car New. Don't put it off. The cost is very low and the results are amazing. You'll agree with thousands of other enthusiastic car owners that your car looks like new when you use Car New. And now for the adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Wistful Vista, coming into Wistful Vista.
Oh, conductor, excuse me for interrupting, but what town is this?
Wistful Vista, lady.
Oh. Now, you won't let me ride past Summerfield, will you?
Lady, we don't reach Summerfield till tomorrow, and we can't go past it because it's the end of the line.
Yes, you told me all that before. You say this is Wistful... Oh, Wistful Vista, where Fibber McGee and Molly live?
Yes.
Oh, my. Do you think I'll be able to see them from the train window?
No, lady, the McGees are on their vacation.
Oh.
But there's Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, their next-door neighbor out there.
Where? Where?
That portly gent with the mustache on the platform, the one making a speech to his employees.
How do you know they're his employees?
Because every time he takes a trip, he gives the help at the factory an hour off to come down to the station and wave goodbye.
Well, so that's Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, I never thought...
I can't tell you how touched I am to see all the employees of the Gildersleeve Girdle Works down here at the station to bid me goodbye. It's very... by the way, is there anyone left at the plant?
Well, no, TP.
Well, what if some orders come in? Who's taking the phone calls?
Mert.
Oh, Mert, eh? Well, as I was saying, while I'm away, I expect every one of you to uphold Gildersleeve girdles to the best of your ability. And don't forget our motto. If you want the best of corsets, of course it's Gildersleeve. Just remember, put everything you've got into those girdles. Will you do that? Thank you. And though it's necessary for me to go away and attend to other enterprises, the one thing closest to my heart is the Gildersleeve girdle. I want you all to carry on as if I was right here. And now I know I can count on each and every one of you to do your duty till the day I return.
How long will you be gone, T.P.?
At least 3 days and maybe till the end of the week.
Before you go, TP, the Gildersleeve Girdle Workers Guild wishes to present you with this handsome leather briefcase as a token of our esteem for you.
I don't know what to say. Except, by George, when I get back, I'm going to call in my lawyers and draw up a profit-sharing plan so that eventually all you folks are going to get the work. I'm going to give you the work. What I mean to say is... Yes, all aboard? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness, out of my way, everybody. Where are my bags?
On the train, T.P.
Thanks. Oh, I forgot to buy a ticket. Where do I buy a ticket?
On the train, T.P.
Oh, yes. Let go of me, boys. Where are you pushing me?
On the train, T.P.
Goodbye, children.
Here's your ticket, Mr. Gildersleeve. Sorry I haven't any berths left.
Couldn't you squeeze me in somewhere?
I'll try, though it'll probably be a tight squeeze.
Tight squeeze, eh? Side splitting, isn't it?
Going to be in Summerfield long?
Oh, no, conductor, just 3 or 4 days. I'm taking over the administration of my brother-in-law's estate. Yes.
Oh, that's so?
Yes, they own an automobile agency that hasn't been doing so well lately, and I'm going to set it to rights.
Don't you think maybe you're biting off more than you can chew?
Not at all. Oh, that reminds me. It's dinner time. Which way is the diner?
Why, an experienced old traveler like you should know where the diner is.
Why, of course. No matter where you are, the diner's always at the other end of the train. See you later, conductor. Pretty crowded in here. I smiled. Is it all right, Angular? I said if this gentleman doesn't mind reading his paper on his own side of the table.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind?
Yes, I do. I'm particular whom I eat with.
You are, eh? Well, I'm not. I'm hungry. Waiter, bring me a steak. Nice, juicy double tenderloin rare.
Waiter,
Where's my milk toast? I ordered it 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but milk toast takes time, you know.
And waiter, I want a big heaping plate of French fries.
Yeah,
and
French fries, yeah.
And some pickles. And a cup of strong coffee with lots of cream.
Yeah, coffee Boston. I'll get it right away.
And bring me my milk toast made with gluten bread, remember?
Gluten bread. Oh, that reminds me. Some hot biscuits and a lot of butter and a little pot of jam.
Gluten bread toasted and a cup of hot water.
And then apple pie a la mode, waiter.
Yeah, pie a la mode.
Yeah, with cheese.
Yeah, with cheese.
I can't stand this. Listening to you is giving me heartburn.
It is. Waiter, don't forget mustard, beefsteak sauce, ketchup, chutney, piccalilli,
and a soda quick.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I'll be right back.
Of course, it's none of my business, mister.
Then don't stick your nose in it.
Yeah. Well, all right, if that's the way you feel. I was just going to tell you you're getting your paper in the butter plate.
Don't make any difference. I don't use butter.
You don't, eh? I guess it's because butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. Yeah. But what I was going to say was...
Never mind.
Okay, I won't say it then. But that butter from your paper's all over your sleeve now.
I don't care. What? Oh, of all the messes.
Water won't take it out. It only spreads the grease. You see what I tell you?
I'll thank you to mind your own business.
Well, that's fine. Thanks for telling you on what side your sleeve is buttered.
You leave my sleeve out of this.
Well, leave your sleeve out of the butter, then. Furthermore, what's the idea of jumping down my throat?
What do you expect addressing a perfect stranger?
You're far from perfect, stranger. From now on, I'm going to make a career out of ignoring you.
That suits me fine. Oh, that's my foot you stepped on, you big buffalo.
Excuse me, I always put on the brakes when we go downhill. Here comes my food. That's pretty snappy service, waiter.
Yes, sir.
Well, where's my milk toast?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir, but the chef, he's all out of gluten bread, sir.
Yes.
He wants to know would pumpernickel do just as well.
No, pumpernickel wouldn't do just as well. What's the idea of keeping me waiting all this time while you serve this lump of lard the minute he sits down?
Oh, no, look here, mister.
I don't want to look here. I'm sick of the sight of you. The idea. An overstuffed ox like you. Guttling and gobbling and gorging yourself like an ostrich. I got a bad case of indigestion already just from looking at you.
Why, you dyspeptic little dodo. Just because you're mean to your stomach and your stomach talks back to you, you bellyache. Excuse the expression. You can't stand the sight of a healthy man sitting down to a hearty meal. You're not suffering from indigestion. You're just green with Epicurean envy.
I won't sit here.
Well, mister.
What?
You bicarbonated soda.
Oh, take it away. Take it away. I need something stronger than that now. I got the pills right here in my briefcase.
Just a second there. What are you doing with my briefcase?
Your briefcase? This is mine.
It is not. My employees gave it to me just this afternoon. Here, give it to me.
Take your fat paws off of my briefcase before I...
Before you what, you dried up little crab apple?
Now, wait a minute, gentlemen, please.
Let go of my briefcase.
I will not. It's mine.
If you don't let go of the briefcase, I will...
Oh, wait, now. Did you see anything of my briefcase? I left it... Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
There you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. I've located a berth for you at last.
Oh, that's fine. I was getting tired of sitting around here in my pajamas. Where is it?
It's upper 9 in the next car.
Upper 9?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness. The last time I was in an upper berth was, let me see, 50 pounds ago.
Well, that's the only thing I've got, Mr. Gildersleeve. The porter's making it up for you now.
All right, conductor, I'll have to make the best of it. Good night, and thanks. I do hope that porter gives me a wide berth. Oop. It's so dark in here. Porter! Porter!
Quiet!
Oh, excuse me. Oh, Porter.
Yes, sir.
Have you got upper 9 ready?
Yes, sir. But I didn't anticipate no gentlemen to such ample proportions.
Yes, well, I guess I better take a ladder.
Yes, better take 2. They're small.
Yes. All right, come on.
Here we are right up there.
Hey, that looks kind of high. You hold these ladders steady, Porter. Remember, if they tip, I won't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now be careful, Mr. Clean's coming to a sharp curve pretty soon.
When?
Then. Hold on a minute to the ladder slide.
I can't hold on. I'm coming down. Look out below.
Oh, what hit me?
Oh, my back.
Here, mister, let me help you up.
I don't want to get up. I want to sleep.
Not you, mister. The man in the upper. He's now in the lower.
I'm all right. I think I can make it now.
Get off of my poor stomach.
What?
Who is it? Oh, it's you. What are you doing sneaking into my berth?
I'm not sneaking in. I'm not sneaking. I'm trying to climb into bed. I'm your upstairs neighbor.
Isn't that nice? I hope that swinging shelf snaps shut on you.
Yeah? Well, if it's going to swing, I'll see the swings your way. And if I land on you, brother, you'll spend the rest of the night sleeping in the road bed.
Quiet. Let me go to sleep.
Okay, Grandpop. Unpleasant dreams. All right, Porter, give me a leg up again, will you? 32,473. 32,474. 32,475. Oh, good God, Bree. 2 o'clock already. And still not a wink of sleep. 32,476. 32,477. 32,478. What's the use? There was only some way of stopping that buzzsaw down there. I can't stand it any longer. Where's that porter? I've been ringing for a half an hour.
Did you call me, sir?
Yes. Would you mind getting me a cup of ice water? I can't sleep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Here it is, mister.
Thanks for the ice water. You needn't wait. Good night.
Oh, good night, sir.
Yeah. Now, if I can hold the cup in this hand and open the lower curtain with you, I've got it. Steady now, Gildersleeve. Ready? Aim.
Oh, what was that? Porter!
Yeah, what is it, sir?
Shut this window. It's raining right in on my face.
Quiet! Can a man get any rest around here? Good morning, Porter. Had a wonderful sleep. How long before we pull into Summerfield?
In about 5 minutes, sir. You want me to brush you off?
No, I'll walk down the steps like the rest of the passengers. By the way, Porter, you've given me such good service. Here's an order for a Gildersleeve girdle for your wife.
Oh, thank you, sir. I happen to be a spinster at the moment.
Yes.
But if it's all right with you, I'll put it in my hope chair.
Yeah, that's perfectly all right, Porter.
Well, hello there, Gildersleeve.
Why, Harlow Wilcox. What are you doing on this train?
Oh, starting on my vacation.
You are, huh? Aren't you working this summer?
Oh, no, I'm off till the fall.
Well.
The Johnson Wax people said car news sales are going so well, there's no reason for me to hang around.
What do you mean?
Well, for the past 39 weeks, I've told everybody all about Johnson's Car News. I've described how easy it is to use and how effective it is in giving your buggy that new car finish. And as a result, folks don't need to be reminded all the time.
They don't, huh?
No, they'll remember to go to their dealers the minute they run out of Car News, because they know that it not only cleans the finish of your car, but also protects it and makes it look like new. Isn't that so?
Well, who am I to say no?
So you see, I don't have a thing to worry about this summer. I'm just going to take it easy. Just as easy as it is to apply Car News. By the way, where are you going, Throckmorton?
Well, I'm going to visit my niece and nephew in Summerfield, Harlow. I haven't seen them for 4 or 5 years. They've been away at school.
Well, they must be pretty big now.
Oh, yes. Evelyn's about 19 or 20, and Leroy is 12, I think. I ought to have a lot of fun with those kids.
Yes, and vice versa, Throckmorton.
Yes.
Next up, Summerfield. Hey, lady, wake up. Wake up. This is Summerfield.
Why can't I, Ev? Why can't I call him TP like I do down at the foundry? It isn't a foundry, Leroy. It's a... Oh, never mind. It's nothing that concerns little boys. I'm sure that Uncle Throckmorton will prefer to have you call him Uncle Throckmorton. Well, how about we making it Uncle Throcky? Ev, how about that? I don't think that will be very respectful, Leroy. Then Uncle Gildy? That's even worse. What's the matter with Throckmorton? Oh, shucks. You can't go around calling a big, tough guy who runs a steel foundry Throckmorton. Why, it's positively derogatory. It's derogatory. Is that true? Leroy, who told you Uncle Throckmorton was in the steel business? Yeah, you thought you were so smart, always trying to hide Uncle's business from me. What's wrong with having a steel mill? A steel mill? Sure, I know all about it. I once got hold of one of his letterheads. The Gildersleeve Girder Company. Yeah, so there. Yes, Gildersleeve Girder Company. See, he should be here by now, shouldn't he, Ev? Oh, now, don't you worry, Leroy. Just as soon as his train arrives, Mr. Wills will bring him here for breakfast. Yeah, I want to go down to the station, too. Yeah, but Ted has to discuss all the legal details with Uncle Throckmorton before we go to court. Say, you're getting pretty darn stuck on that Ted guy, aren't you? Why, Leroy Porter, I am not. Ted Wills is merely our lawyer. He is not. Williamson, Williams, Willies, and Wills are our lawyers, and Ted's nothing but the tail end. Well, he's young, yes. We just give him time. Ah, there you go. Oh, Ned, how if I could call him Uncle Morton? Call who? Oh, Uncle Throckmorton. Oh, I don't think he'd object to that. Wait, I can do better than that. How's this? Uncle Mort. Who's that? Uncle Mort. I'll answer it.
Well, I'll bet this is little Leroy.
Leroy, this is your uncle.
Hi, Uncle Mort.
Yeah, hi, who?
You, Uncle Mort. You don't mind if I call you Uncle Mort, do you, Uncle Mort?
Not at all. Go right ahead. Uncle Mort, eh? I like that.
And this is Evelyn, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Evelyn, eh? Come here, my dear. My, how you've grown.
Hello, Uncle Throckmorton.
Yeah.
Here, let me take your hat and coat. Will you have some breakfast?
No, thanks. I've already had mine on the... Well, I'll have a cup of coffee.
Sit right here, Uncle. Ted, you sit over there.
Oh, thanks. My, this looks good. Well, did you make this coffee yourself, Evelyn?
Yes, I did. Hey, Uncle, will you take me back to Wistful Vista, would you, and let me work in your factory?
What? Well, I didn't think you'd be interested in that sort of thing.
But, Leroy... Here I am, Uncle Mort. That must be somewhere else. I bet you make the supports for a lot of big projects there.
Well, we don't turn out anything much in the way of supporters. We sort of confine ourselves to foundations.
Yeah, I'd like to go along sometime when you install some of those foundations.
I don't handle it. What do you think I am?
Please excuse Leroy, Uncle Mort. You see, he's been like that ever since he found out you owned the Gildersleeve Girder Company.
What? The Gildersleeve Girder? Oh, yeah. Yes, I see it all. Yes, bright boy, yes.
Gee, Uncle, you don't know how swell it is for me to meet a real He-Man and a real He-Man business.
Yes, it is?
Sure. All I hear around this house is dresses and hats and hairdos and women's stuff.
Oh.
But it's going to be different with you around.
Is it?
Well, isn't it?
Oh, yes, of course.
Say, do you ever have to slug it out with any of them tough steel workers of yours?
No, I never do.
You don't, huh?
Oh, well, of course. There have been times when I've had to put more snap into their work. Yeah, and once I was so angry, Leroy, that I picked up a badly made foundation and bounced it right off the foreman's head.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, wait till I tell the kids at school about that. Now, Leroy, you let your uncle eat his breakfast. Have some toast, Uncle Mort?
No, thanks. Speaking of toast reminds me of gluten toast. Yeah. And boy, does that remind me. That reminds me of an amusing incident on the train last night. You'll enjoy this, Leroy. When I went into the diner, the only unoccupied chair was at a table with a sour little crab who had his newspaper spread out. When the ice water hit him in the face.
Well, if you've finished now, Mr. Gildersleeve, it's time to leave for court.
Yes, I'm through, Ted. It was a fine breakfast, Evelyn. You're going to make some lucky man a wonderful cook. Hey, Ted.
Oh, Uncle Mort.
Come on, kids. Let's start over to the courthouse. This won't take long. Once the judge sees who he's dealing with, I'll be appointed administrator faster than you can say habeas corpus. Well, all I can say is we run things better than this in Wistful Vista. 11 o'clock and the probate judge hasn't even shown up yet.
Well, Judge Hooker's usually very prompt.
The trouble with some of these judges is they think they're little tin gods. Take those black robes away from him. What have you got? Bow legs.
That's a hot one, Uncle Mort.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Everyone rise, please.
Well, I'm glad he's here. Now we'll get this thing over with quick.
Here, court, the Pop 25, the Honorable Henry Hickok, Judge for Tiling, Sound Session. Be seated.
Sit down, Uncle Mort.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Who's that man sitting in the judge's chair?
Well, that's Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker? That's the man in the lower berth.
Alias?
That's him, all right.
Petition of Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve for appointment as Administrator of the State of A. Park, sir.
Oh, that's us. Come on, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I'm not feeling very well, Ted. Couldn't we postpone this over to another judge?
Oh, come on, Uncle Mort. Remember what you said. This guy'll be a pushover.
Pushover, yeah.
Now, come on. Step up. Don't dawdle. I haven't got all day.
Make a snappy folk. The judge is pretty short-tempered this morning. He didn't get any sleep last night.
Oh, good God, Fred.
Your Honor, with your permission, I'll put Mr. Gildersleeve on the stand and examine his qualifications for this position.
Go ahead, Mr. Wills. Swear in witness, Taylor.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, don't you?
I do.
Well, do you or don't you? Speak up.
I do.
That voice is very familiar.
Oh.
Turn around, Mr. Oh, so it's you.
Yes. Hello, Judge. How are you this morning?
I'm loud. Witness will confine himself to the matter at hand. Mr. Wills?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll examine this man's qualifications if you don't mind.
Why don't, Your Honor?
Yeah, but I do.
Silence.
Yes, sir.
You're here to answer questions. Now then, Gildersleeve, if your name really is Gildersleeve, what do you do for a living?
I make girdles, Your Honor.
Order in the court. Order in the court. And you, Gildersleeve. Gildersleeve. One more attempt at cheap humor, and I'll judge you in contempt.
But it's true, Your Honor. I'm president of the Gildersleeve Girdle Company.
Oh, Uncle Mort, tell him the truth.
Yep.
He doesn't make girdles, Judge.
What does he do?
Steel foundations.
I bet he would, too. Now, no more interruptions, my boy. Remember, this is courtroom. You realize who I am, of course.
Sure, you're a bow-legged little thin guy.
What?
Now, Leroy.
But you just said so yourself, Uncle Mort.
Oh, you did.
Just a little joke, Your Honor. You know how I kid. No offense, I hope.
It is an offense. Contempt of court. Just one more disrespectful remark, Mr. Gilder, whatever your name is, and I'll...
Oh, don't do that, Judge. Uncle Mort will keep his opinions about you to himself. Won't you, Uncle Mort?
Yes, I know better now. I'll be careful, Your Honor.
Yes, you do. I hope that by now you realize the gravity of the situation, Mr.
Gildersleeve. I certainly do, Your Honor.
I'm going to ask you a simple, straightforward question. I want a simple, straightforward answer.
Go right ahead, Judge.
All right, Mr. Gildersleeve. What business are you in?
Well, do I have to answer that?
You do, and remember, you're under oath.
Well, that is, Leroy, would you mind going out in the hall and get me some ice water?
1 minute. Who's running this court, you or I?
You better not get Uncle Mort mad, Judge. Last night he threw a whole bucket of water on a guy out of a berth under him. And just because this guy was snoring.
Oh, my God, here we go again.
He did he?
Yeah, and this boy Sap woke up and thought it was raining.
Quiet.
You ought to hear Uncle Mort tell it.
Quiet.
Thanks, I will. Let's hear all about it, Uncle Mort.
But, Judge Hooker, it's after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
This poor man's been on the witness stand all day.
All right. One more question, and I'll hand down my decision. Mr. Gildersleeve, what makes you think you have executive ability?
Well, I have a large staff of my own and through years of experience, I know the proper relationship between employer and employee.
You bet, Your Honor. And if they don't do what Uncle Mort says, he just bops them over the skull with a steel girder.
Now, wait a minute, Leroy.
But, Uncle Mort, I'm just repeating everything you say.
Yes, and everything I've said is being used against me. I can't go on.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wills?
Our firm has checked and double-checked Mr. Gildersleeve's references. We're satisfied as to his qualifications. We therefore petition you to name him as the new administrator of the Forrester estate.
Uh-huh. Mr. Wills, I have great respect for you and your associates. That is probably the only reason why I'm going to grant your petition.
Hooray!
However, in order to protect these children from their own misguided enthusiasm, I am going to require this Gildersleeve to report to me every single week.
But, Your Honor...
He must get an okay for every cent he spends.
But, Judge...
And I will require him to post a bond of $50,000 in cash.
Now, see here, Hooker. I won't stand for this. I'll resign.
Quiet. Gildersleeve, I never sent for you. You came here begging for this job. Now, just because I insist on it being administered with scrupulous honesty, you tried to back out of it. But it won't work. To quote from Broby versus Union Buggy Corporation, Civil Code of Nebraska, you've made your bed and you can't lie out of it.
But my business in Wistful Vista demands...
You mean your girdle business? Heh. You will remain here and make this estate pay or go to jail for contempt.
But I...
Court's adjourned.
I'll kill that old goat. Ed, we've got to do something about this. Do you realize that a $50,000 bond would not only take every cent of my ready cash, but also means the mortgage on my Gordo works?
Gee, I'm sorry about how the whole... I'm sorry about how the whole thing went, Mr. Gildersleeve.
He's got me awfully nervous.
Maybe if we went into the judge's chambers, we could persuade him to lower the bond, Uncle Mort. Sure, just let me talk to him.
Young man, you've talked enough for one day.
How about it, Ted?
Well, it won't hurt to try. Come on.
Yeah.
Come in.
Excuse me, Judge Hooker. You remember me, don't you? I thought perhaps maybe we could possibly get that little cash bond reduced.
I don't see why I should waste any
Well,
more
I've
time.
been thinking, Your Honor, if you spoke to somebody who'd known me for a long time, they might convince you that I'm not such a bad fella.
Oh, that would be fine, Uncle Mort. Who could the judge talk to?
Well, the president of the Wistful Vista Chamber of Commerce, Evelyn. He's my next-door neighbor, too. A fellow named Silver McGee. We can call him long distance.
Yes? Yes, I see, Mr. McGee. Yeah, I'm glad you put me straight on that.
Yeah, see, I knew my pal would set me in right.
That's a very good point. I wouldn't have missed this chap for the world.
Leroy, I want you to meet McGee one of these days. There's one of nature's noblemen.
Oh, yes. This conversation will influence my decision a lot, Mr. McGee.
Thank goodness.
I guess you've made my mind up for me, Tipper.
Ooh.
Hold the phone a second. I'll tell him. Gildersleeve.
Yes, Judge?
Gildersleeve, I've decided to rescind that $50,000 bond.
I knew that would happen if you spoke to my little chum.
Yes. After talking to McGee, I'm going to make that bond $100,000.
What? Give me that telephone. Hello? Hello? You're a hard man, McGee.
The Great Gildersleeve will be back in just a moment. You know, one thing that's welcome any time is a new product or a new idea that will save work. That's just as true in the home as it is in industry. Look how successful Johnson's self-polishing glow coat is, because it has saved housewives millions of hours of work in taking care of their floors. And just as much of a work saver for you men is Johnson's sensational new auto polish, Car New. Car New does two jobs at once, both cleans and wax polishes your car in one easy operation. Formerly, to do these jobs cost real money or several hours of hard work. Now, with Johnson's Car New, many car owners tell us they do both jobs in an hour. Imagine cleaning and wax polishing your car in 1 hour. Oh, if your car is very dirty, it may take you a little more, but you'll still say Car New is a miracle worker. As a matter of fact, thousands of the country's leading service stations are now using Car New for polishing customers' cars. There's only one way to find out how easy Car New is to use, what a beautiful showroom shine it gives your car. Try it yourself. Get a can tomorrow from your regular wax dealer, auto supply store, or service station. Remember, your car looks like new when you use Car New.
Gee, Uncle Mort, what are you going to do now?
By George, I'm going to show that judge I can run that estate, or my name won't be Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
You bet it won't, Uncle Mort. You won't even have a name.
Yeah, I'll just have a number. Good night.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and for industry, inviting you to be with us next Tuesday night to hear the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Exciting news through the vibrant landscapes and diverse culture of Brazil. Lost in Brazil brings you to captivating videos showcasing heart-pounding adventures, mouth-watering cuisine, and hidden gems of this incredible country. From bustling cities to tranquil beaches, our videos capture the essence of Brazil's beauty. Experience the warmth of its people, the rhythm of its music, and the thrill of exploration. Click on the link in the description to find out more.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old-time radio programs. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.